Yes, people, a very happy to all of you. So, guys, we're doing this chapter called as preparation of the financial statement for a company. Now, in the last class, we have discussed illustration 8 and illustration 10. From there, I'm moving on to illustration number 2. It says that the following is the trial balance of Omega Limited as on 31st March 2022. Thank God. From 2001, they moved to 2002. Not 22, 2002. Sorry. Yes. Now, what is the significance of this figure in 000? What does it mean? All the figure given below are in thousands. So if it is 72, means 72,000, 200,000. So that is nothing but 2 lakh. So are we supposed to do it in the same manner? The answer is yes. It might save time. It will save time. Now they have given information, one debit column, another credit column, both the totals are matching. So it's a trial balance. Okay. Now what have they given? Land at cost 220, plant and machinery at cost. What is the significance if you have the word at cost in the trial balance? Which means the depreciation is never recorded in the asset account. If the depreciation is not recorded in the asset account, then where was the depreciation recorded? In the provision for depreciation account. So on the liability side, on the credit side, I will see provision for depreciation, and here we have it. Okay. Trade receivable 96,000, inventory as on 31st March 2002. 31st March 2002 is given. Closing inventory is given. If closing inventory is coming inside the trial balance, what does it mean? The adjustment entry for the closing stock is passed. Oh my God. So this is something which is haunting me, sir. Okay. Noted. Next, bank 20,000, adjusted purchase 320. Adjusted purchase? What is this, sir? No, wait. I will explain. You should not tell. Factory expenses 60,000. Administration expenses 30,000. Selling expenses 30,000. Debenture interest, interim dividend paid is given. Okay, interim dividend paid. This is one danger mark. Then on the credit side, credit column, we have equity capital 300 lakhs, 300,000, which is 3 lakh. Okay. 10% debenture is given, general reserve is given, profit and loss account is given, security premium is given, sales is given, trade payable 52,000 is given, provision for depreciation is given, suspense account 4 is given. Oh my God. So my question goes to all of you. Has the question already prepared the statement of P&L, or they want you to prepare statement of P&L? If you see this trial balance, we have all the type of accounts in the trial balance. Sale income is there. Adjusted purchase, factory expenses there. Asset is there, liability is there, capital is there. So this is a full-fledged trial balance. Now the question is asking you to prepare. The question is asking you to prepare the balance sheet and P&L. Balance sheet and P&L. Both you have to prepare. Wonderful. In that case, if the P&L is given 72,000, what is the significance of this P&L? It is the opening balance of the P&L account. P&L accounts, another name is what? Surplus. Another name for surplus, retained earnings or accumulated profits. So all these are the accumulated profits till the beginning of the financial year. With this, current year's profit is yet to be added. Okay, that I'll add it after I prepare the statement of P&L. Wonderful. So I'll come back to the dangerous item after some time. Let's go to additional information. It says that the authorized share capital of the company is 40,000 shares of 10 each. So authorized share capital is given. So this is for what purpose? It is for disclosure purpose. The company, on the advice of independent valuer, wish to revaluate the land at 3,60,000 rupees. So they want to revalue the land. So where have we studied the concept of revaluation? Once in 12th standard when we did partnership, revaluation of assets and reassessments of liabilities. Second time in CA foundation. Third time in CA intermediate. So all of you know what entry to be passed? What is it? Land account debit to revaluation account. Wonderful. In partnership, we transfer the revaluation to partners capital account in the old profit sharing ratio. Here, what will we do? Can I transfer to all the shareholders in the particular ratio? Like that, something like that you're having in your mind? No. So you have to see what needs to be done. So this is a new concept. Declared final dividend at 10% on 2nd April 2022. How on earth On 2nd April, you can declare dividend. I don't understand. 31st March, you'll prepare your accounts. 90%, 95% done. Then you have to do adjustment. Once adjustment is done, you have to call auditor. Auditor has to do the statutory audit. Once statutory audit is over, what will happen? Board meeting. In the board meeting, board of directors should propose. After proposal is over, auditor will come and incorporate that information in the financial statement as contingent liability. Then he will take a printout of that financial statement, sign it, and give it to the company. The company has to parallelly prepare the annual report, which is got director's report, auditor's report, financial statement, and so many other things. They'll make a booklet. You have to send it to shareholders. That annual report should reach to shareholders. Shareholders should book flight tickets and come to the general meeting. Or even if you do meeting online also, is it possible that all this drama happens on 1st and 2nd April itself? By 2nd April, everything is possible. For a second, let's understand Zoom meeting it is happening. AGM is happening on Zoom meeting. Still on 2nd April, how is it possible? So the word declared is right word here. It is proposed. Correct? Like that, you will believe, you will assume. And what will you do? You will show this as a contingent liability only. You will not record this in the financial statement. Declaration means what? Approval of the proposed dividend in the AGM. Only when the approval is given, only when the declaration is done. Declaration also means approval. Approval also means declaration. Only when that is done, you pass a journal entry. Just because the word declaration is given, can I assume the approval is done? Can I pass a dividend payable entry? No. This will be still a disclosure as a contingent liability only. Got it, sir. Fourth one, suspense account of rupees 4,000 represents cash received for sale of some of the machinery. So fourth point is talking about the sale of machinery. When on 1/4/2020, not 21, 2001. See, the beginning of the year itself, some asset is being sold, and that money what we received, we did not know from whom we received, and the accountant parked that money received in the suspense account. About this, I'll be discussing in detail when I come to this segment. I'm just reading the question. The cost of the machinery was 10,000, and the accumulated depreciation thereon being 8,000. Depreciation is to be provided means you have to calculate depreciation and to record the depreciation on plant and machinery at 10% of the cost. Okay. You are required to prepare the balance sheet and the P&L, etc., etc. Notes to accounts has to be done. Wonderful. So now first point, guys, I'm putting a star mark here. Why am I putting the star mark here? Disclosure requirement. Second point is revaluation of the land. I'm putting a star mark here because I have to revalue the land. Third point is a disclosure as a contingent liability. Fourth one has got something to do with my plant and machinery. So I'm putting a star mark here. Coming. Depreciation again with regard to plant and machinery. And suspense account has got something to do with plant and machinery. Correct? The question is clear. Can we deal the item one by one? Always have the habit of doing the balance sheet first. Then P&L. Note number 1 will start from balance sheet. Like that, continuation should go to P&L. Can we do it? Let's start. One page wholly you leave it for balance sheet. Second page will be for P&L and then notes accordingly. We didn't classify the expenses. No, can we classify the expenses? I mean, not expenses. Can we classify the items? Chalo. Land at cost will go to your BP. Plant and machinery, BP. Trade receivable only. Inventory as on 31st March 2002. Will it go as change in inventory or will it go to inventories in the asset side? Inventories and asset side. What? Why? I'll discuss in some time. Bank, cash and cash equivalent. Adjusted purchase. Adjusted purchase will hold, sir. No, I'll have to explain here. Factory expenses, other expenses. Yes, factory expenses means my question goes to all of you. This company, can I assume, not assume, very clearly it is given that they have a factory and they have a factory expenses. So can I say they are into manufacturing? They're into manufacturing, yes. Because I have to decide whether this is a trading concern or a manufacturing concern. Based on that, I have to decide what treatment I should do for this. So before I conclude, this adjusted purchase, what to be done for this? I have to ask myself a question and I have to be clear whether this is a manufacturing concern or a trading business. So looking at this data, I'm clear this is a manufacturing concern. Then I know what I need to do with this. I know, but I'm yet to teach you. Administration expenses, other expenses, selling expenses, other expenses, debenture interest, finance cost, interim dividend paid, interim dividend paid. So dangerous items, sir. We have to see. Interim dividend paid. We have to discuss. No, I'll discuss. I'll discuss. Equity share capital. Equity capital. Share capital. 10% debenture. Nothing mentioned. Long-term borrowing. General reserve. Reserves and surplus. Profit and loss. Reserves and surplus. Security premium. Reserves and surplus. Sales. Revenue from operation. Trade payable. Trade payable. For trade payable and trade receivable, any aging? No. Provision for depreciation. Provision for depreciation. Who said short term? What short term? Short term provision. MCA Schedule 3. I'll recommend. Non-given provision for depreciation. We have to minus from the gross block. No, yeah. So this will be PPE. Suspense account. We have to see what needs to be done for this. Okay, wow. As long as statement of paint is concerned, I'm clear. So I'm going ahead with that. So please write the heading in the first page in the books of Omega Limited. Leave one entire page for balance sheet. Then second page will go for revenue from operation. Or we can write down the balance sheet items one by one also. Nothing wrong in it. What is the company name? Omega Limited. Next, balance sheet. Balance sheet as at 31st March 2001 or 2, sorry. Then particulars, note number 31st March 2002. What is the first item? Equity. Thousands. Figures in thousands. Please make a note here. Figures in thousands. Equity and liabilities. Under that, the very first item is under that we have share capital. Second item, reserves and surplus. Share capital, note number 1. Reserves and surplus, note number 2. Do I need to open any account for share warrant? No. Then next is non-current liabilities. Under that, the first item is long-term borrowing. Long-term borrowing. Do I need any note for that? Only one borrowing is there?
10%
Tell me, people.
No need, sir. Only one 10%.
Only one 10% debenture. So note should be create or not create?
Not create.
Better to create, no? What have we done in book? Created, huh? We'll create. Only for trade payable we have exception. Okay. After long-term borrowing, deferred tax liability net, not there. Other long-term liabilities, not there. Long-term provisions, not there. So directly point number 3, which is how much? Well, which is current liability. Current liabilities. Okay. Under that, the first one is short-term borrowing. Do we have? I don't think so. Next. Trade payable is there? Yes. Trade payable note is required? Not required. After trade payables, other current liability. Do we have any other current liabilities?
No.
No other current liabilities. Short-term provision?
No.
Short-term provision also is not there. Wonderful. That's all?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then total. Then point number 2 is assets. Then the first one is non-current assets. Under that, the first item is PPE. PPE and intangible assets. Under that, we have property, plant, equipment. There's no intangible assets. Okay. Note number 4. Second one is non-current investment. Do we have any non-current investments? No. Any other non-current assets? Long-term loans, advances, nothing is there. So not required. From here directly, current assets. Under that, the first item is current investment. Do we have? No. Next, inventories. Yes, inventories. Breakup required.
Yes.
Note 5. Is it given in textbook? Cross check. Not given. Directly we can write because only one inventory is there. Note is not required. Leave it. Next, trade receivable. Aging is not required. Directly we can write no.
Yes, sir.
Trade receivable. Third, cash and cash equivalent. Breakup is required or not required. Note number 5. Then only one item is there. Cash at bank. So this is also not required, sir. Sir, what, sir? Some place one item is there. We are saying not required means you are telling required. Here required means book is telling not required. What to do? You can take a risk in exam. Here I am sticking on to what is given in textbook so that the flow is properly gone. Fourth item, other current assets, short-term loans, advances, nothing is there. Perfect. So please check in the textbook. Do they have 4 notes for the balance sheet items?
Yes, sir.
Proper 4 notes is matching. Wonderful. So what will we get here? Total. Why did we do all this drama? Because note 5 will be P&L item, and first I'll be doing P&L because I need information of the surplus to be incorporated in the balance sheet. Hence, we have to do this drama. Sir, in real life also, first, will you present the balance sheet? The answer is yes. If you take any financial statement of a company, always the first document is balance sheet, part 1. Then part 2, statement of P&L. So you have to do same thing in exam also. What is the next heading? Statement of profit and loss for the year ended 31st March 2002. All of you are born? No. You are not born, no? Okay. Companies Act also not born. 56 was that, 2013 was not there. You were born, huh? That time. Okay, first item, revenue from operation. Any note required? Any note required? Not required. Only one item is there. Sale directly we can record it. Other income is there?
No.
Other income is there. So we don't know. Why we don't know? Because there is an asset that is being sold. So we don't know whether the asset is sold for profit or loss. Correct? So can I do the calculation first? But before that, write sales income 700. Please write 700. Okay, wow. Other income is there or not? We have to see. So for that, we have to prepare a working note. I didn't leave space here. Sure, okay. This is profit and loss and sale of asset. Asset means you go to other income only, no? Guys, come and let's read this point. They're telling that suspense account of rupees 4,000. That is in the trial balance. Do you find suspense account? This is 430 4,000. Suspense account of rupees 4,000 represents cash received for the sale of some of the machinery. So which means on 1/4/2001, there is some machinery that you have sold. And by selling that, what is the money that you received in your bank account? 4,000 rupees. At that point of time, the accountant did not know this money is coming from whom and for what purpose. So what did he do? He did bank account debit 4,000 to suspense account 4,000. So suspense account you credited. So if any ledger is credited and nothing is there on the debit side, so this ledger will have what balance? Credit balance. That is how this landed upon the credit column of the trial balance. Okay, wow. So when money came in, he was not sure this money came for what purpose. So he put in the suspense account and left it. This is the biggest habit of quite a few accountants. If they don't know something, they'll put in suspense account. Can you have suspense account in your balance sheet? If you write it, which means that your balance sheet is not reflecting true and fair view. So this is a very dangerous item. We have to get it removed. As an auditor, you have to get this removed. The accountant of that company does not know what to be done for this. So you have to come and tell him what needs to be done. This asset that is being sold, no, the cost of that asset is 10,000. Means whenever I purchased, I purchased that machinery for 10,000 rupees. And the accumulated depreciation thereon means it's 10,000 worth of asset that I purchased. No, I used it for a couple of years. So the used value of the asset is how much? 8,000. So out of 10,000 worth of asset, I've used that asset to the tune of 8,000 rupees. So what is the unused value of the asset? 2,000. What is the WDV of the asset? 2,000. That 2,000 worth of asset, you sold it for 4,000 rupees. So you sold at a profit of 2,000 rupees. So this is your profit on sale of asset. Other income is 2,000. Now, working note, I'll put it here. Working note number 1. Calculation of profit or loss on sale of machi. Okay, ma. Working note. First balance sheet page. Second page will be your P&L. Now you have to do working note. So you don't know how much space to leave for working note. In exam, you can take a risk. The third page you can dedicate for working note. And from fourth page onwards, you can start the notes to accounts. Generally, after P&L, you have to start notes to accounts. But here, when I'm doing other income, I'm forced to do one working note. I don't know how much space to leave for notes. So I can dedicate one page for working note. In that, only working note will be there. One or two, whatever it is, that much only will do it. And after that, you can start the notes to accounts. So in the third page, please write calculation of profit and loss on sale of machinery. What is the original cost of the asset that is being sold? 10,000. Original cost of asset 10,000. What is the used value of the asset? Accumulated depreciation for that asset 8,000. So what is the WDV or book value of the asset or remaining cost of the asset is 2,000. So 2,000 worth of asset, you have sold it for 4,000 rupees. So minus sale value. How much is the sale value? 4,000. So here this 2,000 rupees is your profit on sale of machi. Okay, wow. Now,
what is RC?
RC stands for remaining cost. Remaining cost of the asset. whenever the asset is sold, how many monkeys come into picture? Three monkey come into picture. First monkey is the depreciation monkey. That is, if the asset is being used, the asset that is being sold, no, the asset which is sold, I'll use it from the day one till the date of sale of the asset. For that, I have to calculate depreciation, no. So depreciation on the asset that is being sold, we call it as monkey one. Every CA will call monkey one, monkey two, monkey three. It's only for our understanding so that we can remember forever. Okay, wow. So monkey one is depreciation of the asset which is being sold during the year. What is monkey two? Profit or loss entry. Very good. Monkey three is bank entry. So my question goes to all of you. What is my first journal entry for depreciation? Now come. When was the asset sold? When was the asset sold, Pa? Beginning of the year. 1/4/2001 itself, the asset is being sold. Where did you use the asset? Why depreciation entry? Monkey 1 I asked. I didn't ask monkey 1A entry. I asked monkey 1 entry. Monkey 1 entry is there or not there? Not there. So no entry. Right here. MK1. No entry for depreciation. Monkey 1A. What is monkey 1A? In the accumulated depreciation, this depreciation of 8,000 is there, no? That we have to get it removed. Now listen to very carefully. Don't do anything. Just observe me. I have no other choice but to use the space from here. Okay, va? Observe, don't do anything. I told all of you to do a revision of depreciation income, no? How many of you did it honestly? Others didn't do it. That is why I can see those faces, gloomy faces I can see. Donkey fellows. When I'm saying revise income, means you have to revise income, no? Whatever you have studied in 11th standard, 12th standard, CA foundation, you cannot forget. Touch your heart and tell me, will I be in position to teach all this now at the intermediate level? I can teach, but how much time will end up spending? You think no. This is the very second question of your ICAI module. Today we are in which day? 11th day of the class. In 11th day of the class, I'm doing the second question of ICAI. Imagine on the first day or the second day itself, had I done this question, what would have happened to you? Imagine the base that I've set in all these 10 days. What did we do in the beginning? First, I give you a proper base. First class was fully basics. You remember closing stock adjustment, opening stock adjustment we discussed. Then we discussed what is P&L item. For each P&L item, I gave small examples. Then we combined and did the example. Then for balance sheet, separate example. Then combined treatment. So I set a momentum for all of you in the 10 classes. Where was the momentum questions in this ICAI module? Tell me. Directly, if I do second question, will you understand head and tail also? You're able to understand the flow that we are setting. That is very essential. Not for just this chapter. For every chapter, this base is essentially be set. Similarly, whatever you studied in 11th, 12th and foundation, this is going to be base for upcoming chapters. If you don't do that properly here, you'll have a big problem. Now, two ledgers have opened. Why do you think and what do you think these two ledgers are for? One is plant and machinery account. One is provision for depreciation of the machinery. Can you please tell me what is the opening balance of plant and machinery account? Which is on 1/4/2001. By balance brought down. What is the P&M at cost? Sir, 770. Can I add fully 7,70,000 or 770? 770 also? Okay, to save time. 770 will write it, no problem. Okay. What is the opening balance of the PFD account? 1/4/2001. By balance brought down. You can write along with me. Any problem in this? P&M is asset. Asset will have debit balance. So opening balance is coming on debit side. PFD is credit balance. So opening balance will come on credit side. Any problem? No problem. First, always we will finish the PFD. Now, please tell me, debit side, credit side. What else do you record on credit side? So at the end of the year, I calculate depreciation. which is 31st March 2002 by depreciation. Depreciation is how much? 10 percentage, 10 percentage, 10% on cost. 10 percentage on what will you multiply?
171 minus.
Can I multiply on 770? The answer is no, because in this there is one machine which is sold, which I have not used it, that I need to minus. So I have to make from the 770, I have to minus 10,000 rupees. I have to minus 10,000 rupees, and further I'll take help of those three monkey. So what is monkey one entry? Monkey one entry is depreciation account debit to PFD. Monkey one entry is what? Depreciation to PFD. Depreciation account debit to PFD, which is 0. Tell me why. Asset is sold in the beginning of the year, so there is no depreciation. Since asset sold at the beginning of financial year, no depreciation. Okay, wow. Now, monkey 1A entry means what? Whatever the depreciation is accumulated, that I need to remove from the PFD account. In the இடத்துல வந்து you have accumulated depreciation, no? In this, I'm telling you that 8,000 accumulated depreciation of the machine is sold is there, is what I'm saying. I'm saying that in this 171, accumulated depreciation of the asset that is being sold is included. 172, okay, no problem. I'm telling in this 172, 8,000 accumulated depreciation is included. Now, if I don't remove this 8,000 from this 172, this will go and get included in the closing balance also. In the closing balance of the PFD ledger, can I have the accumulated depreciation of that asset which is not existing in my business? Again, I'm telling you, language, listen to very carefully. From this 172, if I don't minus this 8,000, then this 8,000 will continue to be in that 172. If I let that 8,000 be in that 172, it will eventually get included in the closing balance also. In the closing balance, can I have the accumulated depreciation of that asset which is not there in business? No. Always in the closing balance of the PFD ledger, I should have the accumulated depreciation of only that asset which is still continuing in the business. Whatever asset is there in my business, other accumulated depreciation mattu should come in the closing balance. I should not have the accumulated depreciation of that asset which is not there in the business. So from this 172, if I have to minus 8,000, what I should do? Subtract, sir. Arey Baba, in accounts there is no addition, subtraction. No, in accounts it is debit and credit. If it is there in credit, to remove from credit, I have to give a debit. If credit is plus, debit is minus. So now 8,000 I have to put on debit side. What will I call this as? To machinery account, plant and machinery account, which means I'm removing this 8,000 from PFD account and taking where? To asset account. On which date? On the date of sale of the asset. What is the date of the sale of the asset? 1/4/2001. I have to transfer this to plant and machinery account. So can you please tell me what will be the journal entry for this? PFD account debit to plant and machinery. So please come back here and write monkey 1A entry. PFD account debit, how much? 8,000 to plant and machinery account, 8,000. Transferring accumulated depreciation from PFD account to plant and machinery account. Any problem? Monkey one entry is what? Monkey one entry is for recording the depreciation of the asset that is being sold. Imagine had I sold this asset somewhere in the middle of the year. 1 October I sold it. So from 1 April to 1 October I use that asset. No. The depreciation for that asset for 6 months I have to record. That is monkey one entry. Monkey one entry means what? From the beginning of the purchase of the asset, from the beginning of the asset you purchased till the date of sale, the total accumulated depreciation, all put together, I have to remove from the PFD account and take it where? To the asset account. The detail, the logic of this is discussed where? In CA Foundation depreciation topic. In depth, I discuss the logic of this. Monkey one entry done. Monkey one A entry also done. Without forgetting, post this where? In the asset account, plant and machinery account also. So now same entry will come here also. On which date? 1/4/2001 by PFD. How much? 8. Which means both the entries will be recorded simultaneously here and here also. Any objections, please? This entry and this entry will be recorded simultaneously. Both are together to be recorded. Any problem? Online people, any problem?
No, sir.
Monkey 1 entry done, monkey 1 entry done, monkey 2 entry. Monkey 2 entry is what? Entry for profit and loss. So we have profit or loss? Profit. What is the journal entry for profit? Monkey 2 entry.
Asset account debit, plant and machinery account.
Profit always increases the value of the asset. By logic of this is already discussed in the depreciation topic. So what is the entry? Plant and machinery account debit to profit and loss on sale of asset, or you can take it to directly other income, statement of P&L. Both are correct. How much? 8,000. No. Profit is 2,000. 2,000. Can I post this in the ledger? In the plant and machine ledger, 2 profit on sale of asset, 2 other income, 2 statement of P&L. Whatever you want, you can write it. 2 profit on sale of the asset. Which date? Same 1/4/2001. This is 2. This is my problem since childhood. 2 by 2 by 2, I get confused. So 2 profit on sale of asset. Other income you say, or you say P&L you say. Whatever you want to say, you can say.
2.
How much?
2.
Only 2 you write. Next statement, don't write 2,000 income. Everything is in thousands. So leave that 0. Leave that 1,000 ka emotion. Monkey 2 entry done. Monkey 3 entry. Bank. Technically, no, wait, don't write. Technically, it should be what? Technically, it should be what? Bank to
Asset account.
asset. Money is coming in, asset is going out. Debit what comes in, credit what goes out. So bank to plant and machine he should have done. But he did not know this money is coming for the purpose of the sale of asset. So what entry did this fellow record? Bank account debit properly record, because money is coming in bank. No, that he recorded properly. How much? 4,000. But he did not know this money is coming for what purpose? Against what I should record, he did not know. So he parked this money where? In the suspense account, 4,000. This is right or wrong? Wrong. Because of this entry, suspense account is reflecting in your balance sheet asset side, which is not allowed. So now I have to cancel it. So you have to pass a rectification entry now. Now this entry will pass. Now understand, all this entry, monkey 1 entry, monkey 1 entry, monkey 2 entry, monkey 3 entry, all entry was recorded by your accountant. Now this entry is what you are going to record. Which entry? Rectification entry. The suspense in credit is right or wrong? Wrong. To cancel, what I should do? Put in debit. So suspense account debit. And in place of that, what should come? To plant and machinery. How much? 4,000. Now this entry is what you're recording, and this impact is what you are giving. The other entries what we passed so far, and the ledger what we prepared so far, accountant is already prepared that ledger and given to you. So now by suspense will come in the plant and machinery account. On which date?
1/4.
Technically on 1/4, but you are passing this entry when? 31st March. You are passing this entry when you have come for statutory audit. During the audit, whatever adjustments you have to do, you have to give all the impact on 31st March 2002. So by suspense, how much? 4. Are you able to follow? Now please total these both. How much it is? 12. If this is on the credit side plus means, then this 2 will be on the debit side minus. If I net off these both, how much is the net balance? Positive 10, which is nothing but the cost of the asset. So if you see exactly now, the balance of this P&M will be 7,60,000. Exactly 10,000 the difference has been eliminated now. Please balance the ledger. Please balance the ledger. You will get 760 as the balance carried down. 31/3/2002 by balance carried down will be 760. Exactly 760. How many questions like this we have worked out in the CA foundation? How many questions? P&M is sorted, boss. Plant and machine ledger is sorted. Now I got the cost of the asset which has been used throughout the year. On that cost, depreciation how much percentage? 10%. What is entry for that? Depreciation to PFD. In PFD account, by depreciation. So here 7,60,000 multiplied by 10%. How much? 76,000 rupees is the depreciation for current year. Please total this. 172 plus 76. Total, please. 2,48,000 rupees is the total depreciation. This is the depreciation of that asset which is still being used in the business, and this also has got the accumulated depreciation of that asset which is not used in the business. Both put together, this total is having both the depreciation, used one, unused one. Correct, Subiksha? Now what am I supposed to do? From this 248, I'm supposed to minus the accumulated depreciation of that asset which is not used in the business, so that I get accumulated depreciation of that asset which is still being used in the business. So now on 31 March 2002, to balance carried down. 31st March 2002, to balance carried on is how much? 240. This is the balancing figure. So guys, are you able to understand how to read this ledger? This ledger is basically 1,72,000 accumulated depreciation until last year. So until last year depreciation. This is current year depreciation. If I total 248, this is the total depreciation of all the assets, whether used in the business, not used in the business, everything put together. From that, I'm minusing the accumulated depreciation of that asset which is not used in the business, so that I get now accumulated depreciation of that asset which is still being used in the business. Always this should be accumulated depreciation of asset used in the business. Please make a note. Very, very important. Very, very important. Everything is sorted. Now, please tell me, the opening balance of plant and machinery, will it go anywhere in the financial statement? Will this go anywhere in the financial statement? No. This profit on loss and sale of asset, will it go to anywhere in the financial statement? Yes. Where? Other income. By PFD 8,000, will this go anywhere in the financial statement? No. Suspense account, will it go anywhere in the financial statement? Sir, it will not go, but whatever suspense account is there, by passing this entry, the rectification entry what we pass, because of that, this suspense account will get eliminated from the trial balance. Idu poidum. Okay or not okay? Closing balance will go anywhere in the financial statement? Yes. It goes to your balance sheet in form of notes to accounts. In notes to accounts, gross block, accumulated depreciation, net block, there we have to give a proper disclosure. Is this opening balance of PFD going anywhere? Notes to accounts as a disclosure. Opening balance and closing balance will go only to the notes to accounts as a disclosure. That format it will go. This will go where? In the depreciation amortization, where in the statement of P&L. And this will not go anywhere. So for me, what is relevant here? This is relevant for me. Other income is relevant. And opening and closing balance of the asset account and the PFD account is relevant for the purpose of preparing the PPE statement. Are you able to understand what to do with this data? Got it? Now please go to statement of P&L. In other income, what will you write? Yes. So point number 2. Other income. Amma, for this other income, we did so much of drama and came. Oh, yo. Not IOLOLO. This is not right. Your other income, total income is wrong. If total income is wrong, net profit before tax will be wrong. Surplus will be wrong. Revenue, reserves and surplus will be wrong. Balance sheet total, everything. Govinda, oh Govinda, super oh Govinda, it will become. So this is very important. Do it properly. How much? 2. Don't write 2,000 in excitement and come. Be careful when you are doing this kind of questions. Figures in thousands, lakhs, millions means be very, very careful. So it is 2 only. If I total, I get 7 or 2. What is this called as? Total income. Point number 3, total income. Yes, this is the order. 1, 2, 3. You have to write this like this only. 4th is what? Expenses. This is the category. Under that, first one is cost of material consumed. Before that, you have to come back here. Sir, adjusted purchase they have given, inventory they have given. If inventory is coming, if the closing inventory is coming inside a trial balance, means how it is possible? If something is coming in trial balance, means accounting entry is passed, which means this accountant has passed one closing entry for closing stock. What entry did he pass?
Closing
Closing stock account debit to purchase account he passed. So what happened? My purchase being credited. Purchase is expense. Expense is debit balance. To increase expense, debit. To decrease expense, credit. So here if purchase is credited, my purchase is reduced. And closing stock has got the impact of reducing your purchase. So I reversed the expenses on one side and I recorded the asset on the other side. So the entry, what we are supposed to pass, that accountant has done it. Why? Because he has studied this adjustment from Pratik sir. So, correct no? Correct no? So this entry is done and closing stock ledger is created and that ledger is having a debit balance and hence it is coming in the debit column of the trial balance. Any problem? No problem. And therefore, this purchase now becomes adjusted purchase because whatever the gross purchase was there, with that this purchase value is subtracted. No. To purchase means what? You're reducing the purchase. So I didn't understand. Can you please explain with the example? Okay. I purchased goods worth 10,000 rupees. Okay, wow. So in the purchase ledger, what will be the entry? Purchase to cash. To cash, 10,000. So what is my closing balance? 10,000. In the trial balance, it will be called as purchase 10,000. Correct? If I only pass the purchase entry and leave it, this is the presentation. Now what has happened? After this, I've passed the closing entry for closing stock. I'm telling out of this 10,000 worth of stock, 2,000 worth of stock is not sold. So as per matching principle, that 2,000 should not be my expenditure. I have to reduce the purchase. So for that, what entry? Closing stock to purchase. So in purchase account, by closing stock 2,000 means, now what is my revised closing balance? 8,000. Now this 8,000, can I call this as purchase? Purchase means what? Gross value. Means the purchase that you've actually done throughout the year. What is the actual purchase done throughout the year? 10,000. But the closing balance is 8,000. So is this genuine purchase or adjusted purchase? Adjusted purchase. Now, when this 8,000 is traveling to your trial balance, you will not call this as purchase. You will call this as adjusted purchase. Adjusted purchase means what? With this purchases, opening stock is added, closing stock is subtracted. That is called as adjusted purchase. We discussed this 3 times, where once in 11th, multiple times, once in CA foundation, multiple times, once in the very first class of this chapter. 3 places I've discussed. Now 4th time I'm discussing. Any problem?
No, sir.
Hence, this is adjusted purchase. Okay. Now, sir, adjustment of purchase understood, sir. Which purchase is this, sir? There are 2 types of purchase possible. I can purchase raw material or I can purchase stock in trade. Now, please tell me, here the question is silent. Whether it is raw material or stock in trade, what will you assume? And why will you assume that? Tell me.
Raw material. Raw material.
Sir, we have factory expenses. Means obviously, primarily what will I purchase? Raw material. Had the factory expenses nothing related to factory had they mentioned, then I would have assumed that this is trading business and this purchase I would have assumed as stock in trade. But clearly the next line says that we have a factory expenditure of 60,000. So it is understood that this is a manufacturing concern. And hence we dedicate this purchase as raw material purchase because the manufacturer always buys the raw material first. He's not interested in the stock and trade. He's not buying the goods with the intention to sell. He wants to buy and he wants to do manufacturing. He wants to do manufacturing. And this is raw material. Now my question goes to all of you. 320 as it is, can we record in the P&L or not? Or do we need to do any adjustment?
Adjustment.
We can't record as adjusted purchase, what Subiksha is saying. Others.
Record as it is.
Record as it is. Why?
Because the closing entry is already passed. Opening.
Yes.
Budget minus
Now if you come to your statement of P&L, what is the very first item?
cost of material consumed.
The very first item is cost of material consumed. How on earth do you calculate cost of material consumed? Sir, opening stock of raw material plus net purchases of raw material minus closing stock of raw material. This activity you are supposed to do. But this accountant is studied from whom? Pratik sir. So he did this calculation. He gave you this calculation. What is bothering you? Record this directly. Under cost of material consumed. Because you said this is raw material. That's what we concluded. Is it stock in trade or raw material? If you said the moment it is raw material, then I will record this amount directly as cost of material consumed. Am I clear? So now this 320 as it is, I'll record here as cost of material consumed. In the bracket, you can write adjusted purchase. Now the question is, she's asking, sir, what if had this been adjusted of purchase of stock in trade? For that, my dear, you have to wait for question number 9. You have question based on that also. Understood, not understood? Please add in bracket adjusted purchase. Sir, is this formula required to be disclosed in the exam? Not required. This is for our understanding we're doing. In bracket, please write adjusted purchase properly. That is required. Whew. Right? Any problem? Is the logic of adjusted purchase clear or not clear? Adjusted purchase here means adjusted purchase of raw material, and cost of material consumed is always required at the adjusted value only. Online people, okay, not okay? Dharani, Madhu, Reshma, Sudarshini, okay, not okay?
Okay, sir.
Okay. Second item, purchase of stock in trade. Any stock in trade is given, not there, leave it. Changes in inventory. Changes in inventory will come for what? WIP, finished good, and stock in trade. Any information about these three stock? No. So changes in inventory also will not come. Very good. Leave it. Next. Employee benefit. Do we have any employee benefit expenses?
No.
Are you sure?
Yes.
No employee expenses?
No.
Oh my God. So owner is doing all the work, huh?
Yes.
Donkey fellow. How will he scale up his business? Okay. Employee benefit. Swaha. Next. Finance cost is there? Okay. Second item, finance cost. Note number 5. Other income note is given? Okay. Note number what? 5. So first page is balance sheet. Second page is P&L. Third page is working note. Fourth page is notes to accounts. Now notes to accounts, same problem. So 1, 2, 3, 4, how much space to leave? We don't know. Fifth, when will I write? I don't know. What to do? Technically, you're not supposed to change, but we have practical difficulties. Now what to do? Tell me. Note? Then again you'll copy paste. Exam. You write notes first. We can write note 5, 6, but that is not advisable. That's what. So what you have to do in exam is note 1 you write it. Note 1 you finish off. Then and there whatever is there you go in the same order. Final filling will happen in the balance sheet and P&L. So note 1 you can write it. What is note 1? Note 2 you can finish in the same order and comment. In that case, when you do, what happens? You are scattering here like korang, monkey, little bit of P&L, little bit of balance sheet, like that you're doing. So it becomes a little bit not time consuming. It is distorted totally. Flow is broken down. So in that case, what happens? I would suggest you to write notes in haphazard manner for now while practicing it. Once you become a pro, you will know approximately how much space to leave for what and all items. So approximately you can leave some spaces. So extra one line we've gone waste. Donkey fellow, father you paid money to ICAI, no? So 1, 2 line extra gone means don't be bothered about it. Let it go. Now you are not a pro, so you don't know how much space to leave. I know how much space to leave. For note 1, what will I do? I leave half page. Half page. Amma. What is note 2? Reserves and surplus. I leave half to 1 page. Kasa panama. Extra space pochuna cut panni venana. Na kaas kuduthirukku yaarukku ICAI. So extra 2 lines, let it go. What is note 3? Debentures. Only 2, 3 line of disclosure. I know how much space to leave. What is note 4? What is note 4? PP half page is required. So approximately 2.5 to 3 pages can I leave?
Yes, sir.
I will leave that 2.5 to 3 pages and I'll start like that. Appreciate my brain, man. Okay. Now which note are we doing first? Note 4, no? 4 or 5? Other income. Note 5. 4 or 5? Other income, what note? 5. Note 5. Other income. In that, profit on sale of machinery. How much? How much? 2 or 4? 2. Note 6. What is note 6? Finance cost. In finance cost, which item do we have? Debenture interest. Debenture interest. My question goes to all of you. 2 lakh is a debenture. If I multiply 10% on that, how much would be debenture interest? 20,000. Exactly 20,000 is coming here. Oh my God. Super. So debenture interest. How much? 20. My question goes to all of you. Is this debenture interest paid or not paid? Not paid? Hari? Paid or not paid? Paid? Paid. Okay, paid. 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 Paid or not paid? Not paid. Okay. Paid or not paid? Doubt இருக்கா? தெரியும் எனக்கு. You இங்கி பிங்கி பாக் you don't know. Do. சரி, okay. Paid. Paid. Sir, if it is not paid, debenture interest payable, like that will come, no? And moreover, what it teach in foundation? Accountant will record only that income which is received. He'll record that expense which is paid. So if debenture interest is coming in the trial balance, means obviously it would have been paid. So two testing. One, if it is coming in trial balance, mostly it is paid. And second, I am checking whether there is a liability or not. Had there been a liability, it means that is not paid. There is no debenture interest payable, means it is paid. Any problem? I tried to brainwash Pius, but he was very clever enough. Okay, come back to your P&L. Finance cost 20. Next. After finance cost, depreciation, amortization. Here the note number for PPE and this will be same. So what note number for PPE? 4. Same note number you have to give here. Okay. So note number 4. Just it. So I'm trying to give you different ways in different question what needs to be done. Whichever best suits for you. We can do that. Some people will be okay with this. Some people will be okay with that. So I'm doing either ways and showing it. Note 4. It should be in your third page if I'm not wrong. Because fourth page you did your other income finance cost. So third page should be your PPE. I mean third page means note wise. I'm telling note 1 page. Like that. Note wise I'm telling. So note 4 PPE. Seriya. Particulars. Gross block. Accumulated depreciation. Net block. Now how do you want to do this? You can do this in 2 ways. One shortcut way, one proper way. Proper way means what? Opening, addition, deletion, closing. Opening, addition, deletion, closing, net block. How did they do in the book? How is there in the book?
Yeah, they have done vertical.
So we'll go with this only. No other option.
Sir, but they need to work for that, sir. We did working.
Which one? You don't do working note income, no problem. Working note பண்ணாதானே உனக்கு ஆன்சர் தெரியும் other income க்கு. See. Okay, what he's asking is that ledger what I opened, no, that is not there in text. Are ledger I opened to explain the context and to revise that concept I did that. Okay, wow. Now please write opening balance, addition, deletion, closing balance, then opening balance, additional depreciation, reversal of depreciation, deletion, and then closing balance, and then finally net block. Sir, illa line lena theriyudhu onnume clear illiye. जगह बनानी पड़ती है. इस दुनिया में कोई किसी को जगह नहीं देगा. जगह बनानी पड़ती है. Now land. What is the opening balance of land? Sir, where is it given, sir? Are donkey fellow, it is given trial balance, no? 220. Okay. Addition. There's a upward revaluation of the asset. How much? They are telling that the value of the land should be now revalued at 360. From 220, they want at 360 to be. So it is 360 now. So what is the increment?
140.
140. Depreciation dash dash dash. Net block is 360. Any problem? Plant and machinery. What is the opening balance? Opening balance 770. Okay. Please tell me, did you buy any asset in the current year? So in addition column, 0. Did you sell any asset? Yes. At cost, how much? 10. How much is the closing balance? 760. Can I say this is nothing but copy paste from the ledger? Opening balance. Then if you adjust this minus 10,000, then you'll get automatically 760. So whatever presentation is done in ledger, columnar presentation is done in the notes to accounts. In same way, what is the opening balance of the depreciation, accumulated depreciation? 172. What was current year's further depreciation? 76. I'm copy pasting from ledger. How much accumulated depreciation did you reverse in the asset account? 8. What is the closing balance of the accumulated depreciation? 240. So now that you've understood this, the ledger presentation, the columnar presentation becomes easy. 240. Now, 760 minus 240. Please tell me what is the net block?
520.
520. That's all, people. Jupi, this question is. Now tell me, what is the problem? Any problem? So what is this? Gross block opening balance. Asset purchased. Asset sold at cost. Asset purchased at cost. Asset sold at cost. Closing balance at cost. Similarly, this is opening balance of accumulated depreciation. Current year's further depreciation. Reversal of accumulated depreciation for the asset that is being sold. I'll get closing balance of accumulated depreciation. This and this, if I minus, I'll get net block. I'll get net block. Any difficulty in this? This is what you'll practically do in your article show. Easy, no? Okay. Now depreciation, how much? 76 is the depreciation. So please write 76 in the statement of P&L. See, in exam, considering the time factor, you can do shortcuts here and there. But while teaching, you have to teach everything properly, no? So once we progress with more sums, I'll teach you what is the shortcut to be done. For first time, I'm doing a full-fledged PP. So I have to do properly only. No? After depreciation, next item. Other expenses. Any other expenses item? Yes. So other expenses. Can you write OE income in exam? No. Note number 6. 7? What are you telling?
Finance cost is 6.
Oh, 6, sir. This is 7. Okay. Note 7. Other expenses. Factory expenses, other expenses. How much? 60,000. Okay. Then admin expenses, 30,000. Admin expenses, 30,000. Okay. Selling expenses, 30,000. Okay. Debenture interest. Sir, already recorded finance cost, sir. Interim dividend paid. Appropriation of profit. Interim dividend paid is appropriation of profit. That's all. Any other item, please? No. Total is how much? 120. Okay. Fast. Total how much?
536.
536 is the total expenses. Okay. Then fifth one. Profit before tax. Profit before tax. third one minus fourth one. How much? 702 minus 536. 166. Is there any information on the provision for tax? No. So this itself becomes profit after tax. Profit after tax. That's all. Can we come back to your balance sheet item? This is an entire P&L. Done? You should say done, done, sir. Yes, sir. Now, share capital. Share capital. Note 1. I have no space. I'm continuing here. Note 1. Share capital. First one, authorized capital. Question says that we have 40,000 equity share of rupees 10 each, which is how much?
4 lakh.
4 lakh or 400,000. Right? 400,000. Because you have to do in thousands. You have to record in thousands. You have to keep it uniform throughout. Second one is issued, subscribed, and paid up capital. Paid up 30,000 equity shares of rupees 10 each. Any call scenario? Any call scenario? No. So directly in the outer column, 300,000. Any disclosure to be given? Bonus issue? Non-cash consideration? Nothing. One more will come buyback. So next chapter is buyback. So that time I will tell you what is the disclosure for buyback. So please write 300 here. Next, reserves and surplus, note number 2. Very important. Reserves and surplus. So how many types of reserves do we have? If I come on the credit side, we have something called as general reserve, profit and loss account, security premium. So first, let's record all the non-free reserves. So security premium. Security premium. In the trial balance, already it is 40,000. Did we create or add any security premium, or did we do any adjustments in premium? No. So same 40 will come here, outer column. First item. Second item is what? No, I said you have to do the non-free reserves. They told you to create one revaluation reserve. So what is the entry for that? Guys, the land got revalued. So what is the entry for revaluation? Yes. So now come to your journal entry. You did this entry, no? This is the first entry that you recorded. Second entry should be for revaluation. What is entry? Land account debit. Sir, are we supposed to write this in the exam? No. This is for your division purposes. Land account debit to revaluation reserve. How much? 3,60,000 minus 2,20,000. So how much is the upward revaluation? 1,40,000 rupees. And now this 140 will be there in the RR account. And what am I going to do with this revaluation reserve? What is the purpose of this revaluation reserve? You'll understand in the upcoming classes when I do accounting standards. That time I'll tell you what is the purpose of this revaluation reserve. So revaluation reserve. Under that, towards revaluation of land. Can show the calculation inside. How much it is? 140. Third one. Now free reserves, general reserve. Any adjustment for general reserve we did? No. So as it is 130 in the outer column. Fourth one is profit and loss account. So same word we'll write it, profit and loss account. In the inner column, opening balance how much? 72. Add current year's profit. Add profit of current year. How much? 166. Total how much? 238. Sorry. 238 in the inner column itself. 238. Now listen to me very carefully. Once you do adjustment and once you get your final closing surplus, this is closing P and L. From here, you have to do appropriation. You have to do the adjustments. You have to do appropriation. You understand what is appropriation? In the partnership concern, we prepare P and L appropriation account. From the profit, whatever amount we give to the partners in whatever form, we adjust it in the P and L appropriation, including what amount is transferred to reserve that has been done in the appropriation account. So here, all the appropriation is to be done here. Correct? Now, you have paid interim dividend. Look at the language. The question says interim dividend paid. My question goes to all of you. What is interim dividend? The dividend that has been proposed by the board of directors as well as approved by the board of directors in the middle of the year is called as interim dividend. So interim dividend is the dividend of the current year itself. So board of directors has the authority to propose the interim dividend and they also have the powers to approve. They don't have to get the approval from the shareholders. So interim dividend, the moment the board is declaring it, accountant will pass one entry. What entry will he pass? Now write the third entry. The third entry, what the accountant already passed. This entry is already passed. Please understand, this entry you are passing. This entry you are passing. This entry already passed. What entry is passed? I am showing you that entry. So the moment the dividend has been declared, interim dividend is declared by the board of directors, the entry would have been interim dividend account debit. How much? 18,000 to interim dividend payable 18,000. Interim dividend paid account debit to interim dividend payable account. Are you able to follow? This is your appropriation and this is your liability. This is reduction of profit. To increase profit, credit. To decrease profit, debit. Profit is what balance? Profit is credit balance. To increase profit, credit. To decrease profit, debit. When I give dividend, from where will I give dividend? Profit. So from this profit, if I give dividend, the profit will reduce or increase? Reduce. To decrease profit, what am I supposed to do? Debit. So that is why interim dividend paid account is debited. Interim dividend paid has been debited. If you're getting confused with P and P, write this as paid and write that as payable. That is interim dividend paid account debit. And this is interim dividend payable. So this is reduction of profit. This is deduction of profit. Technically called as appropriation. And this is liability. Any problem? And now the question says that interim dividend is paid on the liability side, credit balance side. Do you have any interim dividend payable? No, means it is paid. So what is my payment entry? Interim dividend payable account debit to bank. This entry also accountant is passed. This entry is already passed. So now interim dividend payable account is opened here and closed here. And money is gone out of your bank account. Now what is left over? This interim dividend which is in the debit, this is a nominal account. This have to close by transferring to P&L. But we will not transfer it to P&L. It will be adjusted separately from your surplus. It will be adjusted separately from your surplus. We will minus it from your surplus. As per Schedule 3 format, we don't minus the dividend in the statement of P&L. Rather, we minus it from the surplus. Am I clear? Now understand the logic. This interim dividend is there. No, it's recorded on the debit side of the ledger. So when I close the ledger, this asset will have what balance? Debit balance. All the debit balance item will go where in the balance sheet? Asset side. Asset side, does it make any sense? No. So what we do? We regroup to the liability side. So from asset, if anything comes to liability side, plus item will become minus. That is why this is subtracted from your surplus. One more time, sir. Interim dividend, you're keeping this account, no? This is not a nominal account to be closed. This is not a nominal account to be closed. So this ledger will have a debit balance. If any ledger has got a debit balance, this will be appearing where? On the asset side. interim dividend paid on the asset side. Does this make any sense here? No. We regroup to the other side. So when this comes to other side, plus item becomes minus. But where am I supposed to minus this from? This is an item of appropriation of profit. So we minus it from surplus. We minus it from surplus. Any problem here? Hence, from the surplus, you have to minus the interim dividend. Less interim dividend paid. Sir, what if the interim dividend was payable? Or still that interim dividend is your appropriation, still you'll minus it. So debit part will go to your surplus and you'll minus from that. And the payable part will go to your other current liabilities. Very simple. How much it is? 1.8. Now tell me what is the balance? 220 in the outer column. Now tell me what is the total reserves and surplus? 40 plus 140 plus 130 plus 220. 530. 530. Is it matching with the textbook? Online people, is it matching with the textbook?
Yes, sir.
Dharni responded. Reshma and Sudarshini, are you all there? One person left the meeting itself. It's like my head is spinning, sir.
Yes, sir.
Ah. That in CA inter game is all different. What is studied in the basics is different. Here, positions here and there will change. So you have to wait. Note 3. Yes, boss.
You are regrouping it, sir. The previous year also I have accumulated it every year which get regrouped, sir. So in this year there is no previous year, so you are writing as it is.
Every year, so basically, guys understand. There's a question. This interim dividend, what we are minusing here? This interim dividend, what you're minusing here, you are telling, sir, the closing entry is not passed. If it is not transferred to surplus, then this 18,000 will get accumulated with the previous year balance. No. So technically, what happens is that when I subtract it here, you adjust it with the surplus. You adjust with the surplus. Now, how should I tell if I adjust with the surplus? How I should pass an entry? The entry that we pass here is surplus account is being debited to interim dividend. The account is getting closed. Account is getting closed. But I am not transferring this to P&L account. That is statement of P&L. Technically, if you transfer to statement of P&L, same thing is going to come. But presentation wise, Schedule 3 wants a presentation to be done here. So actually speaking, if you practically ask me what it has been done, this is transferred to your statement of P&L only. As an item of appropriation, this is transferred to statement of P&L only. So what is my third entry? Statement of P&L or surplus account debit. Surplus is a separate ledger. So surplus account debit to interim dividend paid 18,000. So technically this is getting adjusted from the surplus. The ledger is closed. There is no carry forward of the balances. Now note 3 is what? Long-term borrowing. In that under that what do we have? 10% debenture of 200. That's all, no? Okay. Trade payable how much? Trade payable is how much? 52. Now please tell me what is the total liability? 1082. Are you all getting this? This is your total balance sheet. Coming to PPE, please tell me what is net block saying? Net block is having a balance of 360 plus 520. How much? 880 is the total. 880 is the total. Inventory is only one item. Directly you can record. How much it is? 86. Trade receivable, one item. Directly you can record. How much it is? 96. Cash and cash equivalent, only one item, which is cash at bank, 20. That's all. Very simple. Total 1082. Matching, no? It has to match. You want notes of PP? Okay. Now, there's one point, if you don't write it, you lose mark for that. Tell me what? Contingent liability. Since the dividend is not declared by the shareholders in AGM, they're telling this is final dividend. Final dividend should be always be declared by shareholders in AGM. Since it is not declared by the shareholders in AGM, this will be reflected as contingent liability in the financial statement. You have to give a note like this. If you want to copy paste this as it is, I'm okay with it. Because in the answer key, when the person is evaluating, no, they'll get an answer key. In that, they'll have similar to this only. So stick on to the language what has been given by ICAI if you want to score well. This will carry mark. This will carry probably 1 mark. So if you're aiming for centum, then you cannot. Centum it is possible, yeah. In past, people have got centum in accounts. I'm telling you, trust me. You're not believing me. Which means nobody's got the desire of getting 100. Sir, after coming into CA, we forgot what 100 is. If you pass more than sufficient, sir, for 100 I'm not required. If you aim 100, you get 90. If you aim for 90, you'll get 80. If you aim for pass, you will fail. Very simple. In foundation also same deal. Know what I said? Aim for breaking the previous record. What record Siddhi said, you break that. At least you'll come somewhere around that. Aim for 300. Aim for distinction. Correct? No, some people got what they aimed. Some people near to that. Near to that. Very near to that. That should be the thought process. Don't settle for anything less in life. This period, what you work hard so much that ICAI will be forced to give you the 100. I'm telling you.
In these cases, declared means proposed.
Yes. Tell me something. When do you know that the result of your examination is pass or fail?
After starting the preparation.
After the results is what he's saying.
After the exam.
After the exam. My dear friend, you are terribly, terribly wrong. This is your journey for inter. Where are we now? March. Where it no? When is your exam? Jan. When will the result come? March. Correct? You are saying that, sir, when the result come, that time only I know I'll be pass or fail. I am saying that your result, pass or fail, is only declared here, but it is decided from here to here, depending on what hard work, what effort that you've done. In this period, what effort you have put, that will determine your fate result. ICAI is just declaring your fate. That fate which you have said from here to here. Correct? No? Had you prepared everything properly here, if you perform well in the examination, why should ICAI fail you? Tell me. Correct? No? So, whether you will pass the exam or fail the exam, or whether you get a good score or a rank, will be determined by the effort that you put in this period. Whatever effort you've put in this period, the result of that is just declared when the result comes. That's it. That's why the word is result declared. So now, what are you supposed to do now? If you want to pass, what are you supposed to do? Tell me. From this period to this period, you have to effectively utilize your time. Means what? You have to ensure that the classes are properly done. Properly, conceptually done. Correct? No? Understand and do it. Don't try to by heart or mug up. So wherever you feel that you're lacking the basics, get the basic classes, revamp your basics. Nothing wrong in it. Second, you'll take care of the revision technique. Whatever you have studied today, before you go to your bed tonight, you will revise and only sleep. Make it as a norm. If not fully, at least half of the portion you revise and sleep. How much ever you can. Next day morning when you get up, the first thing what you are supposed to do, whatever you have studied in the previous class, you have to do a proper study. There's something called as watching class. There's something called as first study. First study means what? How much effort you put in understanding the class. Probably same effort or little bit less effort when you do the first study. In class, when you're listening to me, your brain is not in the 100% capacity. When you're receiving and no, always there'll be leakages. There'll be always deviations. So you will be receiving at 80% to 90% capacity only. So when you do first study on your own 100%, that is when you'll have 100% concentration on that particular moment. So this is very, very, very important. So first study should happen within 12 to 24 hours of your class. I'm telling psychologically. If you don't want to forget it, your first study should happen within 12 to 24 hours of your classes, which is being done. If the topic is very tough that you're discussing, if the topic is very tough, within 72 hours, means how many days? 3 days, you're supposed to do first revision. If the topic is medium, not a big deal, then you can do the first revision on the weekend. Weekend, you can do the first revision. That is, whatever you're studying on Monday, Tuesday morning you revised. Whatever classes you've done on Tuesday, Wednesday morning you'll revise. Whatever classes done on Wednesday, Thursday morning you'll revise. So first study you're done like that. First revision will happen when the topic is too tough. Within 72 hours of the first study. Within 72 hours of the first study. First revision. If the topic is okay, so you can do the cumulative revision on Sunday also. Nothing wrong in it. Once you complete your first revision, which means in a week, in 1 week, you're doing class also, first study also, first revision also. From there, you have to give a gap of 15 to 20 days, probably 2 to 3 weeks. And you have to do second revision. Second revision. What is the meaning of revision? So revision means I'm trying to, recall the concept. Wherever I'm not able to recall the concept, immediately I'm again studying. So revision will take half the time of the study. First revision will take half the time of study. Second revision will take half the time of first revision. Revision means what? I'm trying to recall. But where I'm not able to recall, I'm sitting and studying again. So it is called as revision. Third revision will happen after 1 month of your second revision. Third revision should happen 1 month after the second revision. If the topic is too tough, you can revise in between itself. Within again 15 to 20 days, one more time you can revise. In case if the topic is too new, too tough, then you can revise immediately. This is the maximum permissible revision I'm telling you. If the topic is too tough, you can do frequent revisions in between. Nothing wrong. So like that, from here, again 1 more month gone by, fourth revision. 1 more month gone by, fifth revision. 5 revisions you have to complete. 5 revisions you have to complete. Along with that, you have to finish your chapter-wise test. In the chapter-wise test, your score should not be below 75%. 100%. I'm telling you, 100%. It should not be below 75%. If it is below 75%, you are at risk. Means what? If the same topic comes tough in the examination, you lose 20%, means you will only end up getting 55%. I'm talking about the worst case scenario. Like that, this has to go by September end. You should be completing your class, 1 study and 5 revision if you're aiming for a rank. If not for a rank, then you can settle down with the third revision. So at least by September, you should be completing your 1 class, 1 study and 3 revisions with chapter wise test. For ranker people aiming for rank, you have to give 2 more revision. Correct? October, November, December, 3 months is there. In that, minimum 2 more revisions in that. With how many full portion test? 6 full portion test. How many full portion test? 6 full portion test. Now tell me, how can you fail in the exam? First aim is getting 100 accounts. If the paper is too tough, at least we have to get exemption. What is exemption? 60 and above exemption. I don't want any student in any subject to fall below 60. I'm very clear on that part. I'm doing only 1 batch in here. We'll do a lot of counseling. We'll do a lot of discussions. To get 60 and above in all the subjects, what is required? You be clear. What is required? I am clear. I'll tell you what needs to be done. Below 60, I don't want a single person to get. In this process, we are not even talking about, sir, will I pass or not? In discussion, pass, fail, I'm targeting exemption. I'm targeting rank. That should be your thought process also. If my thought process, your thought process matches, இது CA interest புரிஞ்சுதா? ஒண்ணுமே கிடையாது. Correct, no? Go and see the Instagram page of CA.Prathik Academy. Look at the amount of people they have scored the exemption. That too by watching the recorded lectures. At least you're getting a privilege of hybrid model, offline, online, record all put together. How much more we can do? Imagine. You've got a mentor to handle you throughout the journey. You've got a person to give you basic classes wherever required. You've got a person while doing CA intermediate, wherever the base is weak, I'm trying to set it there and there. I'm not hurrying and finishing the chapter, for namesake. Each and every point has been properly explained in depth. So what else is required for you to pass? What else is required for you to get exemption? What else is required for you to get the rank? You tell me. I'm very clear what I want. You be very clear what you want. For that, what efforts we have to put, that also have to be very clear. Sir, I have college, sir. With college, how to do, sir? Where there is a will, there is a way. If you have a burning desire, இது பண்ணணும் அப்படின்னு சொல்லி இருந்தா, you will do it. All of you are taking inter for the very first time. Trust me, the amount of excitement what I'm having to prepare, I'm preparing, all of you, I'm preparing for you. I'm not a big gnani that, okay, 10 years before I study everything, I'll remember. Like how you guys are sitting and doing the homework, no, I'm literally sitting and doing almost every questions. If not, at least I'll glance it. Without my preparation, I don't come and sit in my class. I'll be able to follow. You'll not believe, before I started my intermediate batch, if I have to get up at 7 o'clock in the morning, I'll feel like crying. Because I don't like getting up in the morning. I'm telling you, trust me, I hate getting up in the morning. But the day I started my inter batch, you will not believe I wake up 6:37 in the morning without alarm. First fear, because I have to study, I have to prepare. But when I get up with excitement. Okay, right, today I'm going to learn this. I'll go and teach. I have to practice this. Yesterday night, I was preparing for the chapter, the next chapter that I'm going to take. I finished my preparation almost. So till 12:30 I was on call because board exam is coming next week. So till 12:30 I was on call. 12:30 to 2 o'clock, I was doing the preparation for my next chapter. Excitement. I was not able to get it sleep. So what to do? I didn't do Instagram scrolling. I literally took the book. I was preparing all the notes for all of you. I was customizing the notes in the system. இன்னைக்கே அவ்வளவு டெடிகேஷன். எப்போ CA முடிச்சிட்டேன். Marriage also over. No girlfriend problem also. Everything is said. Why should I take so much effort? That too for you. Correct? No. But அப்படி நான் யோசிக்கல. One, I am learning something new. I'm excited about it. I have a strong desire that I want my kids to get exemption. Because and then when you get the exemption, I'll also take that pride in it. No? Oh, I've got exemptions for you. So adil or kick irukku. That kick is what exciting me to do this work. If you're not passionate, people say no, do what you're loving, passionate. It's not passion. Means when you're doing something what you love, no. Time போறது தெரியாது. அதுக்கு பணம் வரதா வரலையா அதோட தெரியாது. You just like what you're doing. I take 7-day classes, all 7 days. I don't crib about taking the class. I love what I'm doing. Last week when we organized this award ceremony, you will not believe I had sleepless nights. I was down with severe, migraine headache. I was like back to back taking pill and I was like, no, I have to get this done properly because we had only almost 6 days of time to prepare for the award ceremony. So much work, you see, or no? All that flex design, every small things of the event was completely planned by me. Each and every minute point. Something Anita ma'am executed, something Sangami executed, something I did, something my brother did, but entire center coordination point 1%. That much of effort I did not put for my own wedding also. Trust me, I'm telling you. எவன் போறா யாருக்கு இன்வைட் போச்சு இல்லையே எனக்கு எதுவுமே தெரியாது எனக்கு. Who ate food, who didn't eat food, I have no idea. But here I was very particular that parents are coming, students are coming. I have to take care of everyone. I have to take care of the chief guest, everybody. Minute of the minute. You will not believe for these kind of programs, people just send the invitation to chief guest on WhatsApp. But I made sure that I take a printout of it, go and give them personal income. And that too, when I gave that printout, that white cover envelope, we'll put that card. That also I ensure that it is designed and given. Each and every trophy that I selected, after how many shops I went, I got that selected. The trophy that is to be given to the student. The CA, we got some CAs who qualified, for them separate trophies. For the chief guest, every minute aspect I designed. So அது பண்ணனும்னா அப்புறம் எவ்வளவு passion இருக்கணும். I'm not getting any money for that work. But and the moment is an honorable moment for me. So அதுக்கு வந்து ஒரு காசு எதுவுமே இல்லாததுக்கே இவ்வளவு நம்ம அத்தனைக்கு we spend money for that. So imagine how much passionate I was for that itself. And if I'm having so much passion for you guys, then how much passion you should have for your own self. Correct only, no? Unless until you have that spark, okay, I have to do this daily basis, I have to study this, attend this class, I have to listen to this faculty. Unless until you get that feeling from within, CA enter is not easy. Out of 100 people, 15 people, 20 people are passing, which means remaining 80 people are doing something wrong. No? What are they doing wrong? Class is not done properly. Choosing the right faculty is very, very important. Studying conceptual is very, very important. Revision is very, very important. Test is important. Getting guidance time to time basis even more important. If you don't take care of all these elements, you're not just screwed, you're royally screwed. Each and every element is important. Pannama? No energy.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now whatever I spoke so far was your break time. The break time got over. We're going to next question. No. You are CA inter-student. What break you want? It is already how much? 7. One more question will go for 1 hour.
7.
What break you want? Donkey fellow. Illustration 2 done.
Yes, sir.
3 done.
Yes, sir.
4 keep it pending. 5 done. 6 will do now. What break you want? Now only I gave motivation, no? The entire purpose of giving motivation was that I can cancel the break. Huh? Donkey fellows. 5 minutes break. 6:55 sharp I'll start. Yes, people, welcome back to the break. So let's continue with illustration number 6. Following is a trial balance of Delta Limited as on 31st March 2002. Figures again in thousands. Landed cost, classification please. PPE, call scenarios.
Share capital.
We have to reduce from share capital. Cash in hand. Cash and cash equivalent. Plant and machinery at cost. PP at cost. So depreciation is recorded in the accumulated depreciation account or provision for depreciation account. Trade receivable. Inventory. 31st March 2002 is given. Closing inventory. Then which means that the purchase is not the normal purchase. It is adjusted purchase. Can we check? Yes. Adjusted purchase. Okay. Now we have to see whether this purchase is of raw material or stock in trade. Okay, ma'am. So this is my inventory. Inventory in the current assets. Cash at bank. Cash and cash equivalent. Adjusted purchase, we have to wait. Next slide. Oh my God. Factory expenses.
Raw material.
Factory means what? Raw material. So this is cost of material consumed. Copy paste as it is. என்ன பா இது क्वेश्चन பார்த்தா 2 second question மாதிரி இருக்கு. Except call scenario everything is same. Admin expense, selling expense, other expenses. Debenture interest, finance cost. Coming to capital side. Share capital, debenture, long-term borrowing, reserves and surplus. Revenue from operation. Trade payable. PP, subtract from PP. Gross block, net block. Suspense, same ditto question. Donkey fellow. So this will be adjusted in PP. I mean in the journal entry level, okay? The authorized share capital of the company is 80,000 share of 10 each. So disclosure here, I'm putting a star mark here. Disclosure. The company revalued land here also. Donkey fellow. Same question. The dividend, interim dividend is not there. Instead of that, call scenario they have given. Equity share capital includes share of 50,000 issued for consideration other than cash. Disclosure, non-cash considerations. One more star mark besides equity share capital. Okay. Suspense account of rupees 10,000 represents cash received from sale of machinery on 1/4/2001. So asset is sold on 1/4/2001 itself. Ditto question like previous one. The cost of the machine 24,000 and the accumulated depreciation is 20,000. So what is the balance unused value of the asset?
4,000.
4,000. And that is being sold for 10,000. So what is the profit on sale of the asset? 6,000. Jujupi. The balance of plant and machinery given in trial balance is before the adjustment of sale of machinery. As if we don't know this point. Okay, anyways. Depreciation is to be provided at 10% on cost. Previous question, remember? 770 minus 10. That adjustment you have to do here also. So here, what is the plant and machinery cost? 824 minus cost of the asset sold. How much? 24 is the cost of the asset. So what is the balance? 800 on the 10%. What is depreciation? 80. Look at the way the brain is functioning. After one question, if your brain is functioning so much, like that, if you practice this question 3 times, how much it will function in the exam? Practice makes the man perfect near to centum. Centum budave maattananu. Kadisi varigam. Balance at bank include 5,000 with ABC Bank Limited, which is not scheduled bank. Sorry, slip of tongue. Yes. Here I'm putting a star mark because I have to do a disclosure split in the notes to accounts. Okay. Make a provision for income tax at the rate of 30%. This is new. What am I supposed to do? In the statement of P&L profit before tax, no. On that 30%. Balance 70% is profit after tax. Any big difficulty? No. 8.1. Trade receivable 50,000 are due for more than 6 months. Aging is required. So now coming back here, trade receivable. I'm putting a star mark here. But tell me, people, do you want me to do this question in the class?
No, sir.
Or this can be done as homework?
Over.
Wonderful. Lazy goose. Wonderful. You are required to prepare Delta Limited's balance sheet as on 31st March 2002 and statement of P&L and notes to accounts as on 31st March 2002, etc., etc. Same question, 2-3 adjustments here and there different. This question is homework. Six is over, 7 is over, 8 is over. Can you do 9th one? Ninth one, can we do it? Online people, can you do 9th one? Online students are like that. Sir, na வேண்டான்னு சொன்னா நீங்க நிறுத்தவா போறீங்க? பண்ண வேண்டியதா? No, Dharini?
No, sir. Out of excitement, we'll do, sir.
Out of very good. I like it. She has no choice. You do. Thank you, ma'am. After this question, I'll tell you what homework question from the scanner. Scanner soft copy is being shared in your WhatsApp. So I'll tell you which questions you have to work out. 9th one. Ring Limited. என்னடா ஹோம்வொர்க் சொன்னால் அப்படியே எல்லாம் மூஞ்சி அப்படி மாறிடுச்சு எல்லாத்துக்கும் ஹோம்வொர்க் தானே கொடுத்தேன் இல்ல வல்லமா இருக்கணும் Rings Limited was registered with a nominal capital of 10 lakh. Nominal capital? You know, so this is called as registered capital, also called as authorized capital. Nominal capital, registered capital, authorized capital. All these are nicknames. Ring Limited was registered with a nominal capital of rupees 10 lakh divided into shares of 100 each. Please tell me what is authorized number of shares? 10 lakh divided by 100, 10,000. The following trial balance is extracted from the books of so-and-so company on 31st March 2002. Okay. Building, where will it go? PPE. Machinery? PPE. Closing stock. Closing stock is coming in the trial balance. How is it coming? Because the closing entry for the closing stock is being passed. What entry is passed? Closing stock to purchase. So what method this is? Adjusted purchase method. So this will go to my inventory. Now what we have to see is that whether this adjusted purchase is of raw material or stock entry. Okay, ma? Anywhere in the first paragraphs have they told that this company is into manufacturing or trading? No. So from the first paragraph I have no information. So I have to look into the trial balance. Loose tools. As of now I'll put into inventory in additional information. If they tell something else, then we will reclassify. Purchase. Finished goods. Finished goods they are purchasing. Finished goods they are purchasing. Who will buy the finished goods? Only a trader. Only a trader buys the finished goods with the intention to sell as it is. Oh my God. So this purchase is my purchase of stock in trade. And purchases is what they mentioned. Adjustment is not mentioned. So is this without adjustment or with adjustment? It is with adjustment only. It is not necessary to put the word adjustment everywhere. If you know the concept, if you know what the impact of the journal entry in the financial statement is, then you know what this figure is. The description need not tempt you or give you idea that this is adjusted or not. Think about it, no? Closing stock is coming inside the trial balance means, Manvi, how it is coming inside the trial balance? Sir, for that I would have password entry. Closing stock is coming in the debit column, means that ledger is having debit balance, which means that account should have been debited. So closing stock is debited. And we are supposed to prepare the P&L because we have all the income item, expense item in this trial balance. So P&L is not prepared. Despite that, if they are passing the closing entry means, then what the entry could be? Closing stock to purchase. So purchase is reduced. So it is reduced from this purchase only. Even the word adjusted purchase, still it is not given. It means that this is not the gross purchase. This is the purchase, net of adjustments, net of closing stock. Am I loud and clear? Online people, am I loud and clear?
Yes, sir.
This purchase is going to bother you. This purchase is going to bother you. Why it is going to bother you, I'll discuss in some time. Salaries will go to your employee benefit. Director's fee. Sir, director also is employee of the company, no, sir. This is what you study in law. Then employee means employee benefit. But Schedule 3 says no. Directors will go only to other expenses. So this will go to other expenses. Rent, other expenses. Depreciation, amortization. Bad debt, other expenses. Investment, nothing mentioned. Current or non-current? Always non-current. Long-term investment. But ICAI might give you shock here and there. Be prepared for that also. Interest accrued on investment. Other current asset. Debenture interest. Debit column means expenses. Finance cost. Advance tax. Short-term loans and advances. Sundry expenses. Other expenses. Debtors. Trade receivable. Bank. Cash and cash equivalent. Oh, yo. Only debit part done, no credit part. Sales. Revenue from operation. Outstanding expenses. Means expense incurred but money not paid. When will I pay? In future. Anything that we pay in future is liability. Which liability? Other current liability. Correct, no? Tell me.
Yes, sir.
What happened, Madhu? She's wearing slippers. Sir, what up, poor sir. Madhu? Provision for doubtful debt. Beginning of the year, opening provision. Opening provision. So we have to create the PFD ledger and see what is happening. In that, are we creating further provision or reversing the provision? Only by opening the PFD ledger, we'll get to know. Opening of the PFD ledger, we've learned twice. Once in 11 CBSE, second in CA Foundation. Not from superficial level, in depth. Multiple questions we have done. Can I do all these questions here? I can do. But if I do, what will happen? For this itself, 11 class. If I take basics in between, for one chapter, 20 class, if I take, people will run away from me. Can I take 600 hours for accountancy alone? When will you study other subjects? I don't know. Equity share capital. Share capital. General reserve. Reserves and surplus. P&L. Opening balance address. Creditors. Trade payable. Provision for depreciation. PPE. 14% debenture. Long-term borrowing for now. I have to check what is given in the additional information. Interest on debenture. Accrued but not due. Other current liability. Interest on investment. Interest on investment. It is coming on the credit column. Credit on income and gain. So it is other income. Some people think it is asset. Asset will come. How it will come in the credit column? Interest on investment is income. So it will go to your other income. Unclaimed dividend. Unclaimed dividend means what? I gave the check. The opposite person did not claim the dividend. Is it my fault? No. So it is yet to be claimed. Means I have to pay the dividend in future. So it is my liability. Other current liability. Unclaimed dividend. I gave the check. The opposite person did not put the check for clearing. So the dividend did not get debited from my bank account. So it is still pending in my bank as unclaimed dividend. I gave the check, but that fellow did not claim the dividend. So I have to pay him whenever he claims it. So anything that I have to pay in future is liability. You are required to prepare statement of P&L for the year ended 31st March 2002 and the balance sheet as at that date after taking into account the following information. Closing stock is more than opening stock by 160. Swaha. Which means with this closing stock, with this purchases, I have to do something. What? I'll explain. Provide doubtful debt at 4% on debtors. Which means against debtor, I'm putting one star mark. Against the provision for doubtful debt, I'm putting one more star mark. Okay. Make a provision for income tax. Easy. Depreciation expenses include depreciation of 16,000 on building and for machinery 24,000. Depreciation is already there in the ledger. Sorry, in the trial balance 40,000. They have given the breakup of this 40,000. 16,000 is depreciation on building and 24,000 is depreciation on machinery. Both put together 40,000. Okay. The DAT has declared a dividend of 25% on 2nd April 2002 and transferred. Okay, now this is one part. So first part is what? Contingent liability. It's a proposed dividend, hence has to be shown as a contingent liability. Second part, they're telling that, and the debtors have declared to transfer 10% of the amount to GR. Okay. This looks easy, but you'll make one mistake here. I'll tell you why. Bill discounted but not matured. This is also contingent liability. We had a discussion of this in detail in the last class. Easy. Super. Now, let's decide how are we going with the presentation. My suggestion. Balance sheet, P&L. Then balance sheet notes, then P&L notes. We'll go in a sequence. Okay. Now write the heading. Please write the heading. Which company is this? Ring Limited. Okay. Then balance sheet. Oh, smart people. What they've done here, you see? P&L they have done first, and then balance sheet. Note number how they given? Note number matu ulta they've given. Patiya. Balance sheet. Balance sheet of Ring Limited as at 31st March 2002. Particulars, note number, rupees. Fast people, fast. Done? This bugger has completed the question at homework and sitting now quietly. Donkey fellow. உனக்கு மட்டும் தான்டா இன்னைக்கு scanner. Other people 4 homework means I'll give 10 homework. I'm telling you. Punishment for doing extra question income. Now, first heading, equity and liability. Under that, what is the first classification? Shareholders funds. You have to tell from your brain, not from the board. Under that, the first one is share capital. And then second one is reserves and surplus. We don't have any information on the share warrant. Share capital, note 1. Reserves and surplus, note 2. Let's first finish the structure of the balance sheet fully first. Then we'll go to notes. Note 1, note 2. Next, non-current liability. Under non-current liability, guys, what all items are there? Only long-term borrowing? Nothing else? Are you sure? You should say very sure. Not yes, sir. Long-term borrowing. Since only one item is there, donkey fellow, what have they done? See, in that question, we didn't want to do notes, but they made us do the notes. What have done here? In bracket 14% debenture. Patiya, இஷ்டத்துக்கு பண்ண வேண்டியது. நம்ம மட்டும் இஷ்டத்துக்கு பண்ணா ஒத்துக்க மாட்டாங்க. ஏன் சுபிக்ஷா கரெக்டா? 14% debenture. Don't write anything. Don't write amount. Just write the particulars. No note number. There's no deferred tax liability net. No other non-current liabilities. That is other long-term liabilities. There's no long-term provision. Directly current liabilities. Something is wrong with this. Under that, what is the first item? Short-term borrowing. Any short-term borrowing? No. Next item, trade payable. Only one item. They have written in the bracket, sundry creditors. Write it. Trade payable is sum total of creditor and bills payable. So here in that only one item we have sundry creditors. After trade payable, next item is other current liability. Do we have other current liability? Which item? Interest on debenture is there. Unclaimed dividend is there. Oh. So note we have to give. Note number 3. Note 3. Next is short-term provision. Why short-term provision? In the adjustment they told you have to create a provision entry. What is the journal entry for that? Statement of P&L account debit to provision for tax. So you have to pass the entry. Now, so far in the previous questions, provision for tax they already gave in the trial balance. Means that entry they themselves passed. So you gave the impact of provision for tax only in one place, which is short-term provision. But now this is given as an adjustment. Since 11th standard we are learning, if any entry is given an adjustment, the impact of that has to be given in two places. One in trading P&L, second is balance sheet. So here one in statement of P&L, second will be in balance sheet. Short-term provision. Okay, what is this donkey film? Note number 4. Okay, not okay. 30% tax, how will you advance tax you're telling? No, I'll come to that concept. Wait. I'll come to that. It's not paid in current year. I'll tell you what it is. Next is assets. Under that, first one is non-current asset. Under that, we have property, plant, equipment, and intangible asset. Please write the rating. They didn't write it here. You have to write it. PPE and intangible asset. That is the right thing as per Schedule 3. Yes, right? Amma, I told you the BP is allowed. Short form. Yeah, you can see in the real balance sheet that you prepare in articleship, then that full form. In exam, to save time, PP is allowed by ICAI. That's what they have done shortcut. No, if they have done shortcut, means it's a license for us also to shortcut. Krithi is like, Patiya, PP, mata ama pandra Patiya. Abdi suda feel pandra. Macha, niyo panla macha. Eh? Amma, this book is our guide, no? Bible. So whatever this book is saying, we are following. Next item is what? Investment, non-current investment. So we had investment here, no? And in the additional information, nothing was mentioned. So we agreed this as non-current investment. Non-current investment. PP note number 5. Other item, next item. Next item. Any other non-current assets? Long-term loans, advances, other non-current asset, nothing. That will go to current asset. Current asset first order is inventory. We have to give a breakup. Right, note 6. What are we going to do in that note 6? I'll tell you. Inventory, note 6. Trade receivable, we have to give a note. Why? Because there's an aging. So trade receivable, note number 7, aging. Cash and bank balance, you have to give a note, no? Because we have bank balance. Cash is there. Only bank is there. But they have this thing, no? There is no Scheduled, unscheduled? It's not there, huh? Only one item. Directly, oh, then directly you can write cash and bank. Okay, direct, no notes. And the scheduled, non-scheduled is if it is given, then you have to give the note. Nothing is given. Directly bank balance. In bracket, you can write bank. Cash and bank balance is wrong. It should be cash and cash equivalent. Piyush started feeling, so that's why I said this is cash and cash equivalent. This is wrong. Sometimes the person who is preparing this textbook would have flown in some emotion. How he wrote that. For that, you'll scold him, huh? You do what is right, no? Cash and cash equivalent. Then short-term loans advances. In the beginning of the class, I told you, whenever you have provision for tax and advance tax, you can net it off. I was expecting that they'll net off. But to my surprise itself, they gave provision separately, advance tax separately. So we'll discuss what that is. As of now, we'll go with what the textbook is doing. What is this? I'll explain. Advance tax, what is it? I meant to explain. Let's hold on it. Short-term loans advances, just write and leave it. Don't write anything. Next is other current assets. What is other current asset? Interest accrued on investment is other current asset. Okay. Chalo, great. Comfortable so far? P&L, do you want to do the structure like this? Or can we do notes and come? P&L structure also will do? Sure, let's do it. Let's do the structure of P&L also. This is one way of approaching the question. We are trying to do multiple approaches. Whichever approaches is setting for us, we'll go with that. Profit and loss statement. Donkey fellow. Statement of profit and loss. Statement of profit and loss for the year ended 31st March 2002. I feel like saying something, but on record it, how can I say? Particulars, note number, rupees in lakhs. Guys, if you see, what have they done here? Oh my God. They have given full amount, no? We'll stick on to the full amount. We will not do what this person. Okay, they have done full only. Okay, rupees in lakhs, correct only. It's not in. See, basically, if it goes in crores, no, then crores like that they'll tell. They've just given additional information. The rupees is in lakhs. Confused பண்றீங்க இருக்கா? Huh? No, that is not required here. Because the question is not given like that. No. Next, first item is revenue from operation. Only one item, people, you can directly copy paste, which is sales. You can copy paste directly. Sales 10,40,000. Other income. Other income. Only one item we have.
Yes, sir.
Interest on investment. $24,000. Other income, interest on investment. Now you have two choices. You can write like this also, or you can put a note number and give the breakup in the notes also, depending on how much time you have in the exam. So what is my total income?
10,64,000.
Please don't copy paste, use your calculator. Now comes to the main point, expenses. Now keep all your pens down and listen to me very, very carefully. If I read the question, it is clearly understood that this is not a manufacturing concern. This point is very clearly mentioned that we are purchasing the finished goods. Only a trader will buy the finished goods. Manufacturer will produce the finished goods. So this is nothing but stock in trade. This is nothing but stock in trade. As per Schedule 3, only raw material can be shown at the adjusted value. That is opening stock plus purchases minus closing stock. Whereas if I talk about stock in trade, I want the stock in trade to be reflected at the gross value. I want the purchase of stock in trade to be reflected separately, and this should be at the gross value. But what have they done? They have recorded a closing stock entry. What entry have they passed? Closing stock account debit to purchases. So my original purchase was something else. After passing this entry, my purchase got reduced to this value. So my gross amount is something else. So which means this 420 is not the right purchases of stock in trade. This is at the adjusted value. So I have to cancel the adjustment and I have to gross up. I have to gross up. So purchases is reduced, no? To reverse, we have to add back. How will you do this? Tell me. You said add back. No, no, tell me. Add back. Now. Ulta, you say.
Add closing.
Now listen to very carefully. Adjusted purchase is equal to opening stock plus net purchase minus closing stock. I want this, which means this should be given, this should be given, and this should be given. There are 4 variables in this equation. If only 3 are given, the 4th one I can find out. As rightly predicted, adjusted purchase is given in the question, which is how much? 4,20,000 rupees is the adjusted purchase given. You agree with me?
Yes, sir.
This we have discussed in detail in the first class of this chapter. The basic class, I discussed this concept. Before that in foundation, before that in 11th standard. So I'm discussing 4th rank. Opening stock, I should be having, closing stock, I should be having, only then I can proceed with the calculation of this net purchases. Closing stock is given. How much?
180.
Closing stock is given in the trial balance 1,80,000 rupees. So I'll put 180 here. But I don't have the information about the opening stock. But how to calculate the opening stock, the hint of that is given in the additional information. How, sir? Closing stock is more than opening stock by 1,60,000. Now, how to do this? Very simple. Don't complicate. Opening stock minus closing stock is equal to change in inventory. Correct? No. Opening stock minus closing stock is equal to change in inventory. Closing stock is more than opening stock by 160. How much is the closing stock? Closing stock is 180 minus 180. They're telling that closing stock is more than opening stock by 160. So difference between closing and opening stock is how much? 160. Difference is 160, which means change in inventory is how much? 160. Now the question is whether this is plus or this is minus. Now they're telling that closing stock is more. Closing stock represents what? Reversal of expenses. Changes in inventory is coming under which category? Expenses category. So if I want to represent expense, it should be plus. If it is reversal of expense, it is minus. Closing stock, which is nothing but reversal of expense. Closing stock means what? We're reversing the expense. Closing stock is more than opening stock. So obviously this 160 is what? Reversal of the purchases. Hence this will be minus 160 is what I am saying. What are you saying? Opening stock is X. So now X is equal to, take this 180 to other side. Minus 180 when it goes to other side becomes plus 180. So minus 1,60,000 plus 1,80,000. So what is my opening stock? 20,000. Can you cross check once? We have to cross check, no? How to cross check, sir? They're telling that closing stock is more than opening stock. By how much? What is opening stock? Other order 160, closing stock is more. So what is the opening stock? 20,000. Closing stock is 160 more than this. Means 20,000 plus 160. 20,000 is opening stock plus 160 more is the closing stock. So 20,000 plus 160, if I add put together, it will become 180 my closing stock. Matching or not matching? So what did I do here? I did a very simple step. You know the formula for changes in inventory? Opening stock minus closing stock. In that, opening stock is what I have to find out. Closing stock is already given. Difference is already given. Now the question is whether the difference is positive or negative. If opening stock is more than closing stock, positive, because that is expense. If closing stock is more than opening stock, it is minus, it is reversal of expenses. That is why I concluded this is minus 160. So once you have this equation clear, two variables clear, the third variable is the balancing figure. How much it is? 20,000. Now come and substitute that 20,000 here. Now please calculate. I want this net purchases, which means I'll take this opening stock other side. I'll take this closing stock to other side. So 4,20,000 plus 20,000 when it goes to other side becomes minus 20,000. And minus 180 it goes to other side becomes plus 180. So what is my purchases?
5,80,000.
5,80,000 is my gross purchase. Gross purchase. Purchase of stock in trade. Purchase of stock in trade. Okay, va? Unlike people, okay, not okay. So now,
Okay.
now if I come to the solution, cost of purchase is 5,80,000 rupees. What is this cost of purchase? This is nothing but purchase of stock in trade. Stock in trade at gross value. Please write it down. Don't write cost of purchase. They're changing the terms. Not allowed. It should be purchase of stock in trade. Now one more time. One more time I'll explain. Listen to me very carefully. I can see few gloomy faces. My question goes to all of you. In this question, are we the manufacturer or are we the trader? Trader. How do you know we are a trader? Because the question very clearly said that we are purchasing the finished goods. Who normally have the habit of purchasing the finished goods? Trader. I'm buying the goods with the intention to sell. So I'm very sure that we are not manufacturer. So this means this purchase is of stock in trade. Schedule 3 is very clear that whenever you show the information of the stock in trade, it should be shown separately as purchase. With that, you should not do any adjustment for opening stock and closing stock. That adjustment, as per the matching principle, we have to do. But Schedule 3 is saying do it separately in the third line item. Which means the Schedule 3 is very clear that we want those 7 users of the financial statement to know what is the gross value of the purchases throughout the year. This shows my purchasing capacity of the business. Manisha, this shows the purchasing capacity of the business. I wanted the gross value. But unfortunately, in this question, what have they done? They have passed the entry for closing stock and adjusted the purchase. If closing stock is coming inside the trial balance, means it is only because of the journal entry that you have passed. So what journal entry have you passed? Closing stock account debit to purchase, which means the purchase which is being shown in your trial balance is not the gross value, it is the adjusted value. It is the adjusted purchase. Even though the word purchase, adjusted purchase is not given, it is understood because if the closing stock is coming inside the trial balance, this entry is passed. So purchase has been adjusted, which means what? You have subtracted the closing stock from the purchases. Not just that, when I say adjusted purchase, it doesn't mean that only the closing stock is adjusted. Even the opening stock is adjusted. When we talk about adjusted purchase, both opening and closing has been adjusted in that. So with this purchases, in this purchases, opening stock is added because opening stock is expenditure. Closing stock is reversal of expenditure. So opening stock is added. To reverse, what am I supposed to do? In this 420, guys, please understand. Opening stock plus net purchases minus closing stock. So with net purchases, what did you do? You added opening stock. To reverse, what am I supposed to do? Minus opening stock. So here, that is what we have done, no? With the adjusted purchase, I subtracted the opening stock. Closing stock is subtracted. In this, closing stock is already subtracted. In this 420, closing stock you subtracted. 180 you subtracted. To reverse, what am I supposed to do? Add back 180 so that I can get the gross value. 5,80,000 is the gross purchase. Add opening stock, how much? 20,000. So total cost is how much? 6 lakh. In that 1,80,000 worth of stock, you have not sold it. So minus closing stock as per matching principle. How much? 180. How much is the cost of goods consumed? Or 420. What is this 580? This is the total purchase of the entire year. What is this 20,000? Purchase of the last year. but not sold in the last year, sold in the current year. This is my total expenditure, total purchase expenditure. Can I record the entire expenditure as expense? No. Matching principle does not allow. In the 6 lakh, you have not sold 1,80,000 worth of goods. So from the total cost, I have to minus the cost of goods not sold, so that I get cost of goods sold. So this is called as adjusted purchase, and this is what is given in your trial balance. Can I show this adjusted value in the statement of P&L? The answer is no, because Schedule 3 says that I don't want the purchase to be at the net value. I want the purchase to be at the gross value. So whatever adjustment you have done, all the adjustments you have to undo it. Which means what? The closing stock, what you have subtracted, reverse it by adding. Opening stock you have added, reverse it by subtracting. So how will I do this? 4,20,000. To get this, you subtracted closing stock. Now to reverse, what am I supposed to do? Add back 180. To get this 420, you added opening stock. To reverse, what am I supposed to do? Minus opening stock 20,000. Now I'll get 5,80,000 rupees as the gross value. So you're just going in reverse now, from top to bottom. When you go from top to bottom, with this, whatever is subtracted, we'll add it back. And whatever is added, we will subtract. Yes or no?
Yes,
Understood or not understood?
yes, sir.
Loudly or distinct? Understood or not understood?
Yes, sir.
Wonderful. So like that, I got 5,80,000 here in my answer. Do you have any problem? Schedule 3 very clearly says that closing stock and opening stock of finished goods should be shown separately under changes in inventory. What is the formula? Opening stock minus closing stock. Opening stock is 20,000, closing stock is 180. If I show difference, negative 160. So this is reversal of expenditure. Any problem here? Online people, any problem here?
No, sir.
Next is salaries. Only one item is there. So 120 directly can record without any notes. Employee benefit directly please record 120. If anybody wants to copy paste this, you can, make a note of this, you can make a note. If you want, I can do it properly. Working note number 1, calculation of purchase of stock and trade, finished goods. Adjusted purchase, how do you get it? Opening stock plus net purchases minus closing stock. Adjusted purchase 480. Opening stock 20,000. You got it through working note number 2. Net purchases X. Closing stock is 180. It is already given in trial balance. So what is X is equal to? 4,80,000 minus opening stock plus closing stock. How much it is?
5,80,000.
5,80,000.
Sir, adjusted price is 420.
Adjusted purchase is 420. Sorry. It's not 480, 420.
Okay.
Here also 420. Working note 1. What is working note number 2?
Calculation of
Calculation of
opening stock.
opening stock. How do I do it? Change in inventory is equal to opening stock minus closing stock. The question very clearly says that closing stock is more. Closing stock is reversal of expense. If that is more, then obviously it will be full entirely reversal of expense. How much? Negative 160 is equal to opening stock X minus 180. So X is equal to, take this minus 180 to the other side. So it becomes plus 180. So how much is the difference?
20.
20,000 is the difference, opening stock. So this is working note number 2. Sir, are we supposed to give this working note in the exam? 100% yes. What is, how will I know you got opening stock from where? From your own brain or from neighbor's paper? Correct? No. நீ பேப்பர் எவ்வளவு விட்டுருவியா? அப்ப அவன் எப்படி விடுவான்? யோசிக்கிறோம்ல. What happened, Manisha? She's like, why did I come to CA inter itself? I don't know. பேசாம ஃபவுண்டேஷனே முடிக்காம அங்கே உட்கார்ந்திருந்தா ஜாலியா ஃபவுண்டேஷன் குட்டி குட்டியா படிச்சிருப்பேன் நானு. Over. Finance cost, only one item is there, 56,000 directly can record. After working out so many sums, ICAI has become lazy. So far in the beginning, everywhere note, note, note. Now by the end, they became lazy in the last question. They're like, direct, let's say, well record. My God. You don't become lazy in the exam hall. Or as a person who is correcting the paper, he'll become lazy in giving the marks to you. Then centum gone only. Okay. Depreciation, amortization. What note did we give for PPE?
5.
5. Same you'll give here also. Leave that black. Keep it pending. Depreciation, keep it pending. Other expenses, note number 8. Keep that pending. Other expenses, keep pending. Over. Formatting is over. Now can we come from note 1 beginning? Can we come from note 1 beginning? Yes. Please write share capital. Now here they've done one Khujli. What Khujli you tell me? Like in 12th CBC, how we record authorize separately, issued separately, subscribe separately. They've done like that. But now what is Schedule 3 saying? Issued, subscribed, paid up should be shown together. You will show it together only, not separately. So issued capital, subscribed capital, paid up capital in one straight line. Fast, fast, fast. P&L we have left with other expenses. Correct? With that you leave as it is. Go to the fresh next page for note number 1. So page 1 done, page 2 done. Now page 3, note number 1. Note 2 is what? Reserves and surplus. So how many types of reserves do we have? We have general and P&L. That's all. Correct? No? You can't do reserves and surplus now. Leave half page blank. Because without doing surplus, I cannot do my reserves and surplus. So half page for share capital means half page for reserves and surplus. Or one third, one third, one third. You can do. 1/3 for note 1, 1/3 for note 2, 1/3 for note 3. So please leave some space for reserves and surplus and go to third one, other current liability. Other current liability. Have you written share capital in the face of the balance sheet 4 lakh? Yes. Reserves and surplus is pending. Leave it blank. Long-term borrowing directly please record 4 lakh in the balance sheet. 14% debenture 4 lakh directly in the balance sheet. Trade payable you can record directly in the balance sheet. 184. So on the face of balance sheet, share capital done, long-term borrowing done, trade payable done. Am I right? Other current liability, you have to give a breakup. So now please go to other current liability breakup. How many amounts are there? Unclaimed dividend, interest on debenture, and then outstanding expenses. All the 3 please copy paste as it is. Order you can change. No hard and fast rule. Under other current liability, any order you can write. No problem. Done? Mani done? 42,000. Please go to the face of balance sheet and write 42,000 here. Short-term provision, note number 4. Short-term provision, note number 4. We can't do it now. We have to wait for the tax amount. I mean, profit amount. So short-term provision, keep on hold. Leave some 3-4 lines because I want you to do one journal entry also here. So you can leave some 3-4 lines for that also. I want you to do the journal entry. So after this provision for tax, leave 3 to 5 lines gap. Then go to note number 5, property, plant, equipment. Property, plant, equipment looks straightforward. Building is given. There is no provision for depreciation. Is there? Okay. Okay. I have a question to all of you here. This 1 lakh provision for depreciation on building. In this 1 lakh, is this depreciation of 16,000 including or we are yet to add? Understood my question? I'm asking you whether this provision is closing provision or opening provision. Is this closing provision or opening provision? How do you say this is closing provision? Manisha, opening provision or closing provision? Good morning. Closing. Why do you say closing and how do you say closing? And he's like, why did I say closing? Hey, shush. Let me ask. Madhu. No idea. Albin. You know, closing, I understood that she gave the answer. Manisha, half answer she gave. Why closing? How did you decide this is closing? CA boss. Everything you should know. Smriti. Yes. It's like, sir. You're giving me that kuch kuch hota hai wala feeling. Miss Briganza. Tell me. Gaurav.
Trading account में वो depreciation.
Trading account, trial balance.
Trial balance.
Very good. He's got the point. If depreciation entry is not passed, how will the depreciation come inside the trial balance? If depreciation is there in the trial balance, means my accountant has passed the entry for it. Do you agree with me? Depreciation ledgerல வந்து 40,000 இருக்கு அப்படின்னா அதுக்கு ஒரு journal entry போட்டுருக்காங்க. If at all the entry is passed, what entry they would have passed? Depreciation to PFD, which means in the opening balance of PFD, this depreciation would have been added and then you would have gotten closing balance. Hence, this 1 lakh is that closing balance of PFD. This is the closing balance of the PFD account. Manisha, Adu, तो मैं तो आधा का क्रेडिट दे तो रहा हूं तेरे को. वो बोला क्लोजिंग तो मैंने बोला मनीषा ने आधा आंसर दे दिया. But you didn't give the reasoning. That is what is the key role of a CA boss. Opening, closing, inky pinky ponky, anybody can do. Had you substantiated why this is closing, then I would have understood you're a pakka CA. As a CA, you need to give a proper reasoning for everything. If the presence of mind and application of mind is not there, you need to become a proper CA. But we are all in the learning phase. So that is why we have come to you. If you know everything, then I'll be sitting and signing balance sheet. So you're in the learning process. It's okay. Now you understood why this is closing balance of PFD account. In this 1 lakh, already 40,000 is included. Now, how do we present this in the notes to accounts? What is note number? 5. PPE. Particulars. Gross block. Always add cost. Accumulated depreciation. Net block. What is the first item?
Building.
Building. I am having some kujli here. You know what? டேய் பரவாயில்ல லைன் மட்டும் கட் பண்ணி எழுதுற ஃபீல் பண்ணாத பாவம் தானே சார் திட்டினா எப்படி அப்புறம் கண்ணில் தண்ணி வந்துச்சுன்னா அசிங்கமா இருக்குல்ல ரெக்கார்டிங்ல அப்புறம் ஓப்பனிங் ஸ்டாக் addition deletion closing. Why? Because I want to know how the depreciation is coming here. I want to understand that process. I want you to understand the process. Addition, deletion, closing. This closing. What is the first item? Building. அதுக்கு ஏன் நான் எப்படி சொல்றேன்? Building. How much is the opening balance? Sir, in exam, are we supposed to do multiple columns? No. In exam, what do you do? Gross block, accumulated depreciation, net block. Game over for this question. How much opening? 580. Any addition? Any deletion for building? No. Closing block also 580. Opening balance? Opening balance how much? Sir, we have to calculate. What is given here is closing balance. Building is 1 lakh closing balance. How much is the depreciation on the building? How much is depreciation for the building? 16,000. Deletion 0. So what is opening balance? 1 lakh 16,000. So this is your balancing figure. Now my closing balance. 580 minus 1 lakh. How much? Sorry? 4 lakh 80,000. Any problem? Next item. Machinery. What is the opening balance in the trial balance? Machinery. 2 lakh. Any new machinery purchased? No. Anything sold? No. So gross block, closing balance of the ledger is 2 lakh. What is the closing accumulated depreciation on machinery? 1 lakh 10,000 given. Deletion. Donkey fellow. This who said 160 then? Opening balance will be less, no? 1 lakh minus 16,000. 84,000. 84,000 plus 16,000 is 1 lakh. Which donkey fellow said that? நீயா இதுக்கு தான் வீட்ல ஹோம்வொர்க் பண்ண வேணாம்னு சொல்றது. Class work is sitting and doing at homework. Now அது என்ன தட்டினா வந்துடா போகுது இது தட்டிட்டு இருக்கு அது ஆன்சர் வந்துருச்சுல்ல. Now 110 is the closing balance of the machinery of the PFD ledger. What is the depreciation of the machinery in the current year? 24,000. So what is opening balance? 110 minus 24,000. 86,000. So opening balance. Now how do I get the net block? 2 lakh minus 110.
90,000.
How much?
90,000.
That's all. 90,000. Total is how much?
570,000.
570 is the total of PPE. Please record in your face of the balance sheet. Depreciation, please write 40,000. In depreciation, please write 40,000.
No need of giving notes, sir.
Which one?
Depreciation amount.
No. Why the note number I have given here is because if they want to know how this depreciation is come, though it is given in the additional information, I agree. But in the real life, you have to tell no where which place it is coming. You're getting my point. So depreciation in this question, they spoon fed you. Zero directly. But this is coming from where? PPE. So that cross-referencing habit should be there, no? Non-current investment directly 240 you can record. Non-current investment 240 directly record, please. Inventory directly you can record 226. It is given in the yes, you can give note also. Yes, oh sorry, loose tools is there, then you have to give notes. Please go to notes, inventory. In the trial balance, we have two inventory. One is closing stock of finished goods 180, and second is loose tools 46,000. Both are inventory. Total is 2,26,000. Total is 2,26,000. So on the face of the balance sheet, please write inventory is 226. After that, trade receivable. After that, trade receivable. For trade receivable, have they given any aging? Where? No. But provision is asked to be computed. Provision for doubtful debt is required. So sundry debtors given in the trial balance is how much? 2,50,000 rupees. Less provision. Now provision, what are you supposed to do? Please write a working note. Which working note number this is? Working note number 3. Calculation of provision for doubtful debt. We'll open the ledger. We'll open the ledger. Provision for doubtful debt. Please tell me, what is the opening balance of PDD? What is the opening balance of PDD? Very clearly it is mentioned in the question. Trial balance, provision for doubtful debt on 1/4/2001. Opening balance is 6,000 rupees. So 1/4/2001 by balance brought down 6,000 rupees. Remember in 11th standard and CA foundation, I told you, whatever bad debt is coming, you pass an entry called as bad debt to debtor. And this bad debt being a nominal account, you have to close it by passing a transfer entry. And whenever provision is given, you will transfer the bad debt to provision account. But intermediate, we are going to change the rule. In inter, whatever the bad debt is given, you will always take the bad debt directly to P&L. Your job is easy. So whatever bad debt is there, take it to P&L. So bad debt already given in the trial balance is how much? Where is it? 12,000. Think no. How did this bad debt enter in the trial balance? Because the accountant had recorded this entry. Bad debt account debit 12,000 to debtor 12,000. This entry the accountant is recorded. Now you have to pass an adjusting entry. What is adjusting entry? Now this bad debt is a nominal account. I'll transfer directly to P&L because I want to show bad debt separately in the schedule 3. Other expenses. So statement of P&L account debit to bad debt 12,000, 12,000. So your bad debt portion is sorted. In CA foundation, we used to transfer this 12,000 to PDD account. Now, no drama like that. Directly transfer the bad debt to P&L. Transfer the bad debt to P&L. Okay. So here, two bad debt, what we used to get in CA foundation, now two bad debt will not come here. Do you agree with me? Okay. So what did we learn in CA foundation? First step is recording the opening balance. Second step is to record the bad debt here. If in case it is given in trial balance or adjustment. Here in intermediate, I told you to omit this point because we're taking the bad debt directly to your P&L. So what is the next step? Calculation of balance carried on. 31/3/2002. Two balance carried on. This we have to calculate. For that, I told you some step. What step? Debtor that is coming from the trial balance. What is the debtor in the trial balance? 2,50,000 rupees. From that, I have to minus three things. minus bad debt. Which bad debt? The bad debt which is given in the adjustment. Further bad debts we have to minus. In the adjustment, do you have any further bad debts? No. We have to minus good debts. What is good debts? I have discussed in the foundation. What is good debt? Good debt is that debt confirm the money will come. Confirm money will come. Like that, anything they mentioned? No. Because the money which is going to confirmly come, on that you will never create any provision. So good debt, if any, we have to minus that also. In this question, that is 0. Then you have to do plus and minus adjustment of the debtor. For example, in the adjustment, they'll tell you there's one credit sale, that entity I did not pass. So please pass it now. So if I pass a credit sale return entry, debtor will increase or decrease? Debtor will decrease. Upon credit sale, debtor will increase. Debtor to sales. For a credit sale, debtor will increase. When it is credit sales return, debtor will decrease. So that time I have to minus that amount. Sometimes the question will tell you there's a sale entry, credit sale entry, but entry not passed. Please pass it now. So if you pass it now, what is the entry? Debtor to sales. Debtor debited means debtor will increase. So we have to add. So if there is any adjustment for debtor to be done, that adjustment has to be done. And then you'll get a proper debtor balance, because this debtor balance is not a proper debtor. This debtor is subject to all these adjustments. So after you do the adjustment, then the debtor what you get is a proper genuine debtor. On that you have to create a provision. So this is the debtor. Please tell me what is PDD percentage? 4%. So 4% on this value is how much? 10,000 rupees is the closing balance. 10,000 rupees is the closing balance. Any problem? I've been telling this since 11th standard. So 2,50,000 into 4%. 250 into 4%, which is 10,000. Any problem? This is the closing balance. Now, is the ledger automatically tallying? No. There's a balancing figure coming here. How much? 4,000. What is this? On 31/3/2002 by P and L. Here it is nothing but by statement of P and L. 4,000 rupees. What does this 4,000 mean here? This is the provision of the current year. Fear of the current year. What is the 6,000? Fear of last year. Last year you feared that this money may or may not come. Based on your fear, prudence concept said that, okay, no problem, please record this as your loss. Based on which concept? Prudence concept. Prudence concept says what? Record for your anticipated losses. So you anticipated that this money may or may not come. Why this anticipation? The logic was discussed in the CA foundation. Can I discuss this one more time here? In-depth discussion. This 4,000 rupees is the provision of current year. Fear of current year. So in total, how much money are you fearing that this money may or may not come? 10,000 rupees money may or may not come. Out of this 10,000 rupees, 6,000 rupees is recorded already as a loss in the P&L of the last year. So in the P&L of the current year, how much further loss will you record? 4,000 rupees. So this is what will go to your other expenses. Any problem? So now when you come to other expenses, now when you come to the note of other expenses, bad debt, what did I tell you? Transfer directly to P&L. How much? 12,000. And provision, how much did you create now? 4,000 rupees. Now here give reference to working note number 3. People by heart, this minus this, I'll get 4,000. If the situation changes, if the condition changes, the presentation also will change. So if you by heart it, you will not find it of any use. You have to understand the logic of it. In CA Foundation, you have done multiple questions based on this. So by now, you should be a pro in this concept. Any problem with bad debt and provision for doubtful debts?
Then we are writing P&L to bad debt, sir. But we have already recorded previous years.
Which bad debt? 12,000.
Provision which no, sir. So before this we have recorded loss, again we have recorded.
No. So now please understand. The question what Kritin is asking is that, sir, last time you had a fear that this 6,000 may or may not come. Out of that, your fear became true to the extent of 12,000 rupees. This is the same logic what I gave you in the CA Foundation. I told you in CA Foundation there are 2 ways of recording it. If you believe that this 12,000 is a loss out of this provision, then I told you to record that loss 12,000 in the PDD account. Now, when I treat this bad debt separately, the assumption is that this bad debt is a different bad debt of a different person, and this is a provision of a different person. Like that, we assume and write it. You have two options. What we did in foundation, that is also right. What we did now, this is also right. Both are acceptable. Both are acceptable. But ICAI, now please understand, this is not a requirement of Schedule 3. Schedule 3 did not say that record bad debt here separately, PDD here separately. CA Institute here, what they're doing, they are treating bad debt separately and PDD separately. Whereas in foundation, they combined together and did it. So there they adopted one method, here they are adopting another method. So now when I'm teaching intermediate, I want to give that answer which they are expecting in the key answer. If I tell you what we did in foundation is right, record it. By chance, if they don't acknowledge that, what to do? So I don't want to take the risk. So I'm telling that this bad debt 12,000 is of a different person. Let's say this is bad debt of B. Whereas this provision, what you created is bad provision of customer A. So treat this as two different parties. And this is how the treatment they have done across multiple questions. So you can have an answer again. Is this calculation clear? In this, if you have any doubts, please personally ask me. Next, you have to see what are the other expenses item. What are the other expenses?
Rent, data fees, bad debts.
Directors fees, rent. Why is sundry expenses? Sundry expenses. 3 items, people. 3 items. Rent, directors fee, and sundry expenses. Bad debt PDD already we wrote. Guys, please be very careful. When you write provision for total debt 4,000 year, this is that P&L ka balance. The closing balance of PDD, let's say 10,000, I will minus it from the debtor in the balance sheet. Where in balance sheet? Under notes to accounts. Like in sole proprietorship concern and partnership concern, on the face of the balance sheet, you can minus, not minus PDD. All that plus and minus, now drama is going to happen in the notes to accounts. So if you see here, that minus has happened here. The 10,000 minus is happening in the notes to accounts separately. So 250 minus 10, 2,40,000 is the net debtor value which will travel to your face of the balance sheet. So debt. So in the balance sheet, record 240 against trade receivable, and in P&L you record 1,24,000 as other expenses. Trade receivable 2,40,000, and other expenses 124. Now, people, I would suggest you, once we are done with the P&L, it is better we complete the P&L fully. Total income part, that time it was over. Now we have got other expenses also. So please tell me what is your total expenditure. Please tell me what is your total expenditure. Calculate. All the items, please add it. Purchase of stock in trade, plus change in inventory, plus employee benefit, plus finance cost, plus debt, plus other expenses. All put together, how much? 7,60,000. Okay. Total income is 10,64,000 minus 7,60,000 expenses. What is my profit before tax? 3,04,000. And tax is 30%. So 3,04,000 into 30%. How much it is? 91,200. Will you add or minus? Minus. Tax reduced. So what is the balance profit after tax? 2,12,800. P&L is done. P&L is done. I come to balance sheet. In the notes to accounts, you left some space for provision for tax. What is the journal entry for provision for tax?
Statement of P&L.
Tax reducing the profit. Profit is what balance? Alvin? Profit is what balance? Debit or credit balance? Credit balance. To increase profit, credit. Decrease profit, debit. When I pay tax, profit will decrease. To decrease profit, debit. So statement of P&L account debit. How much? 91,200 to provision for tax. 91,200. So this will be subtracted from your profit before tax. And this will go to your short-term provision. Short-term provision. 91,200. Any problem? Any problem?
No, sir.
What does provision for tax 91,200 means? That you are predicting that I may have to pay this 91,200 in the future. That is, guys, we are preparing the balance sheet as on this date. For this financial year, when do you file your income tax return for the companies? 30 September is the due date for the income tax filing returns. That is, if you want to file the income tax returns for the company, the due date is 30 September. Only when you file the income tax return, that time you know the exact final tax value. So far here, you have only created a provision. Now, why? Why is a provision you have created? You have all the accounts ready with you, no? So when you know all the data perfectly, why can't you calculate the tax properly? Why? Because as per income tax law, we have to make certain adjustments to the profit what you have calculated. The profit what you have calculated now is as per the accounting rules and regulations. There are some points which is contradicting with the income tax law, which means what? Accounting law and income tax law in some cases are not of the same opinion. They have an opposite opinion. So now, with the profit what you got now, you have to make some adjustment in the income tax, which your income tax sir will teach you. Thereafter, the final tax will be derived. So which means this is not the final tax. This is still subject to further adjustment as per the tax laws. And hence we call this as a provision. Because what is the meaning of provision? Provision means three conditions should be satisfied. One, there should be a possible obligation. There should be outflow of economic resources. Third, amount should be reliably estimated. Sorry, reliably calculated. Can I calculate the amount reliably? Exactly, no. We are estimating it. Hence, this is not a liability, this is a provision. Now clear. Sir, this is understood, but this one item called as advanced tax. Where is it? Advanced tax. What is this advanced tax? You will learn again in income tax that the government, now please understand why this concept of advanced tax came, I'll tell you. Normally what happens? You earn this, throughout this year, you earn the income. You enjoy your money, boss. You enjoy the money on day-to-day basis, correct? No? After that, you are taking 6 more months to finalize your income tax. And when are you filing the returns? 30th of September. Means 12-month year, 6-month year. You are making the government wait for 18 months to get their taxes. What are you telling? Government, please allow me full 12 months. I have to do business. I have to concentrate on the business. I don't know how much tax to pay. I'll get to know only in the end of the year. When I came to end of the year, you said that I can't still pay you the taxes because I have to do adjustment, for which I need 6 more months. So you're telling government, please wait for 18 months. My question goes to all of you. What is the primary role of government? What is the role of government? To regulate the country. To regulate the country, like how you regulate the company, you run the business, like that you have to run the country also, no? For running the country, you need expenditures to be done, no? What expenditure does the government do? The train where you're traveling, who is laying down the railway lines? Government is laying down. We have so-called government hospitals, no? Who is constructing the government hospital? Government. For all this, what is required? Money, funds. From where will government get money? Multiple sources. You know, one of the big source of revenue for government is taxes. So if you don't pay the taxes on time to the government, how will government plan their expenditures? If you don't get monthly salary, you can't pay monthly rent, no? Same way, if the government does not get the regular revenue, how will they plan for the expenditures? Imagine such a big expenditure they have. So government was in stress. They did not know what to do. So they went to income tax department. They said, please find out some solution where we get some money in advance. We can't wait after 18 months to get the money. So Income Tax Act lay down a compulsion telling that now onwards, you will not pay your taxes after 18 months. You will have to pay us the taxes in advance on estimation basis every quarter. How the calculation needs to be done, your tax teacher will teach you. Every quarter means what? April, May, June. Quarter 1, you have to pay your advance tax 1. Once you go to your articleship, you will calculate this for your clients and ask them to pay. July, August, September, quarter 2, one more advance tax 2. Then August, September, October, advance tax, no. April, May, June, April to June, July, August, September, October, November, December, Jan, Feb, March, quarter 4. So once in every quarter, once in every 3 months, you have to make your client pay something called as advance tax. So how many advance tax? 4 advance tax. So if I don't pay the advance tax on time, or if my client does not pay advance tax on time, what will happen? Interest. Because you're giving delayed money to government, no? So income tax department is saying, if you give me delayed money, I'll charge interest on that. You pay with interest. What for me? That is this advance tax. So advance tax means what? Whatever my income of the current year is there, no? I'm forecasting my income. I'm forecasting my income. On that basis, I am paying the advance tax 1, 2, 3, and 4. So this is that advance tax. So technically, what are you supposed to do? When your advance tax is 120, in that, what is your provision actually is 91,200. So remaining amount you're supposed to receive from the government back. So net amount is how much? 28,800. You should have shown as short-term loans and advances. You should have netted this off. But what is ICAI doing here? ICAI is keeping provision separately, advance tax separately. We will also do that. You're able to understand, because this advance tax is for what? Income tax. Provision what you created is for what? Income tax. And both are belonging to current year. Then why 2 separate accounts? You getting me a point? Hence, we have to net it off. But here what they have told, keep advance tax separately in the short-term loans advances and provision for tax separately in the short-term provision. 30 September when you file your returns, no? That time you will pass an adjustment entry for both of them. You will knock off both the amount and accordingly you will adjust it. So that is something you learn in the higher level. Understood, not understood? So now coming back to your P&L. Is your P&L fully done or not? Is your P&L completed? Online people, is your P&L completed?
Yes, sir.
Coming to balance sheet. Balance sheet, can I say share capital is completed? What is pending? Reserves and surplus. Can I do reserves and surplus? I'm going in the proper order. Reserves and surplus, can we do? Yes, sir. The question here very clearly said that the director wanted to transfer to general reserve 10%. P&L balance is 50,000. And what is current year's profit?
2,12,000.
What is current year's profit?
2,12,000.
So current year's profit is 2,12,000. 12,800 plus 2,12,800. Total put together, how much is my total profit? 2,62,800. Please tell me how much of this will you transfer to your general reserve? 26 to 80. How many of you say 26 to 80? Raise your hands. How many of you thought it is 26 to 80? It is wrong. But how many of you, honestly at heart, you thought it is 26 to 80? You thought that, sir, opening balance of P&L plus current year P&L, on the total profit, I'll create 10% GR. Hello? When we say that GR 10% created in current year, it should be on current year's profit, boss, not on the accumulated profits. Because on the opening balance, how much GR is required? Last year I have created on the opening balance, no? So current year, I should create the savings from the current year's income. Are you able to follow? So always when the reserve is to be created, it should be out of the current year surplus. Current year surplus. What is my current year surplus? 2,12,800. On this 10% is how much? 21,280. This is the amount you have to transfer from P&L to GR. So if you come to reserves and surplus, opening balance of surplus is 50,000. Add profit for the year 2,12,800. So total accumulated closing balance surplus is 2,62,800. In that, less transfer to GR 10%, which is 2,12,800 into 10%, which is 21,280. So final surplus after adjustment, after appropriation is how much? 2,41,520. For general reserve also same format. Opening balance you will write it. With that you will add transfer from P&L. How much? 21,280. Vertically you will write it. Same format. We can't have different format in presentation. For statement of P&L, what format of presentation you are giving? Same presentation for GR also. So 80,000 plus 21,280. Total is 1,01,280. The closing balance of GR is 1,01,280. And closing balance of surplus is 2,41,520. Both put together how much? 3,40,800 is the total reserves and surplus. Mark this question, very, 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 very important. In the face of the balance sheet, please write reserves and surplus 3,40,800. So capital done, reserves and surplus done, long-term borrowing done, trade payable done, other current liability done. Now short-term provision also please write it 91,200. Your liability part is completely over. Please check. P&L completely over, liability side completely over. Asset side, PP over, non-current investment over, inventory over, trade receivable over. Cash and cash equivalent directly can record it, short-term advances directly, and other current asset also directly. Asset also over. ₹14,60,000, right? Done? Now, I have a question to all of you. How many questions are totally there for this chapter in your ICAI module? 10 questions. This is 9th question. After this, only one question. 10 questions. Next, you have MTP, RTP, PEP. All put together, let's say another 30 questions. So 30 plus 10, how much? 40 questions. Let's say your exam is in Jan mid. So how many days will you take to prepare for your advanced accounting? 5 days? 5 to 6 days. First exam, no. You have luxury, 5 to 6 days. The luxury what we have, other subjects don't have. No, Manisha? 5 to 6 days. My simple question to all of you. In that 5 to 6 days of holiday, can you go through the entire 40 questions? All the adjustments 100%?
No.
No chance. So what are you supposed to do? In every question, you have to highlight which transaction is bothering you. If you see in this question, which was the one which was bothering the highest? Closing stock, maybe to some extent. Closing stock was challenging. Purchases was challenging. Bad debt part, you got a clarity. Advanced tax, you had some confusions. Coming to liability side, that is credit balance side. You had problem with provision for doubtful debt. You had problem with the calculation of the GR amount, 10% on what we have to calculate. That's all. Closing stock part. So what I will do if I was in your place, whichever part I have doubt, no, that part I will highlight it like this, or I'll put some symbol like this, so that whenever I revise in future, I'll know this is the place where I have a problem. So whenever you do revision 2, 3, 4 onwards, you will not sit and do the entire question. You will only see those respective adjustments. That's all. So like that, in every question you have to highlight which points are bothering you, so that one day before the exam will be very clear what to see and what not to see. Am I loud and clear?
Yes, sir.
Have you all received the scanner on the WhatsApp? Please confirm. Please, guys, have you all got the scanner? Open the scanner. Hello. Sure. Second, concentrate. Second question, homework. Have to see whether this is properly or not. Third question, homework. I'm cross checking whether both are right or wrong. Wait, I'll tell everything. That's why I'm making them sit you. Wait. Leave fourth one. Fifth one, homework. How many homework so far? How many homework so far?
Four.
Eh,
Oh, illustration 6.
this is how much I'm asking. Okay, fifth one you written. Okay. Some people are feeling, no, sir, we're feeling idle, sir, sitting idle, boring, sir. Six, right? Show, no disturbance. 6, 7, nothing. 8 also not required. 9 not required. 10 not required. 11 not required. 12 not required. Not required means I have to do one question, then I'll give homework. 14.
Okay, sir. 5, 7, 8.
Homework. Everything properly with format only you're doing. I'm telling you. Your homeworks will be checked. Homework, 15 also homework. Okay. I feel pity for you guys. I'm stopping with 15 questions. Now listen, wait. Okay. Can somebody take the responsibility of putting all this question number in the group? Why don't Yash? Listen. Shoo. While doing the question, if at all you find out any mistake in the scanner in terms of alignment issues, humble request, bring it to the notice of Anita ma'am. She'll get it resolved. So that once we are done with this, we'll be giving the hard copy of this book to all of you. Because what I thought was if I take the printout, in case if there is a mistake, then with that mistake, having the book is very guilty feeling, no, for all of us. So if there is any alignment issues, any problem, any figures is not properly written, please bring it to our notice. We'll get it corrected. Any problem? Comfortable? Now the question is, sir, when are we supposed to finish? Next week, Amul baby. Not tomorrow. When are we meeting for next class? Saturday. By the time you come for Saturday's class, this should be done and dusted. Your notebook will be checked. Trust me. Sir, we are CA inter people, sir, grown up people, sir. For me, you are still a donkey only. Yes. Okay. Chalo. Online people, okay, not okay?
Okay, sir.
Chalo. Fantastic people. That's all from my side for this session. I'll see you all on Saturday, 5 p.m. or 4:30 p.m. sharp. Until then, bye. See you. Take care.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.